News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines, we cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, deep out of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report. Caribbean American News Media.
They stream the tears and the cheers so clear. From the church to the pitch, they're always near. Tie the knot or score the goal, my friend. GVD TV's got you till the end. They stream the highs, they stream the lows, from wedding vows to final shows. Through life's twists and the path it bends, GVD's there, it never ends.
Well, a special good night, to all our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media Platform. It is good to be here with you on a Sunday evening. I want to wish all of you a blessed good evening. Again, welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. We are live on the air. Please share the live and tag a friend. Share the live and tag a friend. We are on here we are in studio, of course, and we're broadcasting on our Facebook and our GVD TV family. So I want to again welcome all of you to the platform, and I do encourage you to share the live and tag a friend. It is so good to see many of you joining us both on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. I am your host, Garfield Oliver, and we're going to have an open discussion tonight, and I look forward to the engagement. I look forward to as many of you as possible as you join in on our platform. All right. So again, a special good morning to all of you here on Caribbean American News. All right. Good. Welcome, welcome. Ever welcome. Yes. Folks, greetings, and greetings. So we are on here. We have a special person that will be joining us a little later on in the program. So we invite you to share the live and to tag a friend as we engage for the first time on our system, on the set here in studio. So all Flabos should be here tonight. Tutsi Flowers should be here tonight. Now, let me tell you something. Look at what I did today. I got back here on Friday in the night, a little late. But today I was able to make some carrot punch. Carrot punch. Now, Pama de Mosi ni wamadi dime. My boy wam. But I did this. It's delicious. It's the season to be jolly. That's all I can say. So, share the live. Tag a friend. Dr. Fletcher. It's evening. Well, there's some time difference that I can't keep up with. All today, I'm thinking that I'm in St. Lucia. I woke up, thought I was in St. Lucia. And I was looking for the same food, the same good times that I've been having in spite of. But I got the reality check that I am not in St. Lucia, but I am right here in the United States of America. And so, folks, I appreciate every one of you. Share the live, Tiger Fred. It's going to be a hell of a ride tonight. You will hear my rant, of course. Not boy bag me. All right, you see? Somebody give me the cup. Man of God. Not man of Satan. Man of God. We're going to talk tonight, folks. We will talk tonight, all right? So I'm going to do a little ranting, of course, and then we will get into the... Now, as soon as I drink the carrot juice, I don't need my glasses yet. So maybe when the carrot juice wear off, then I would need some glasses, of course. But for now, I am seeing a little good. And I hope that I keep it up. That's what St. Lucia does for you. It makes you look... And somebody told me, boy, you look younger. Not only that, I'm on the way, gasa budon descend. When my tell me, budon mo descend. So something good is happening here, folks. We need another elections in St. Lucia. Well, what can I say to you? But okay, so we're going to get to work. Blessed good evening to all our troops. I want to get, when we get to 200, then we're going to start. I need all my UWP troops here. Tutseja UWP. All of our UWP people, gather. We're going to have a conversation. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion, of course, and some of the experiences that I had on the ground. So, listen to me. It is what it is. But we're going to have a conversation. So, share the live, folks. And tag your friend. All right? Share the live. Tag a friend. So just bear with me. We're going to take off tonight. This is our platform. It is our time. It's our celebration. We're going to have a celebration tonight. I'm telling you. Tonight, we are having a celebration. All right? Good. So I don't want anybody to come onto the platform. They're salty. They're sour. They're sad. You know, we didn't win. The world is going to end. St. Lucia is not going to be St. Lucia anymore. Listen to me. We are going to fix that, all right? We're going to fix that. So I'm going to give you some time to share the live and to tag a friend. A friend, of course. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. So let's get down to. Okay, our YouTube is coming up, and I don't know what Facebook is. I can't see it from my end as yet, but let me just have a conversation with you. So let me say to you, friends, we're just out of the December 1st general elections, and the United Workers' Party did not win this election. As a matter of fact, we lost one seat, and that was Bradley Felix in Swazel. The Honorable Alan Chasney won his seat in spite of the efforts of the St. Lucia Labour Party and big business to get the Honorable Alan Chasney out of that seat. However, he was victorious. He won. The people of Mico South re-elected him as their parliamentary representative. We're hearing stories that the Honorable Alan Chasney resigned as leader of the United Workers' Party. It is something that he did the last time. I just want to remind you, this is nothing new to the United Workers' Party. There's a constitution that governs their party, and therefore the Honorable Alan Chasney did the right thing in resigning after this loss. And so it is up to now the United Workers' Party to either accept or reject his resignation, and I'll give you my opinion, of course. And I have someone who will join us a little later on set on the line, in order for us to have a conversation on that. But I want to remind us, and I'm going to have my rant, of course, and then I'm going to have an open engagement with you, our Flabo Nation. All right? So, here is a story, a biblical story of the Israelites, the children of Israel, going through many defeats and many wins. The children of Israel, folks, we know was taken into slavery, into bondage there in Egypt, and God rose up a messenger, sent him in to Egypt because of the pressure, because of the hardship that was on his people in Egypt. Now, the children of Israel had gotten accustomed to the working conditions and the harshness of the political powers there in Egypt. And so Christ saw from heaven because of the cry of the people. And so he called together a messenger, sent him in to Egypt to deliver them. And he sent messages upon messages saying to the political leader to let my people go. Let them go. This is enough. Let them go. If you don't let them go, there's a number of plagues that I'm going to send, and I will harden your heart. I'm going to mess you up, and my people will be free. And so Pharaoh decided he's not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Who do you think you are? I am king. I am Lord. I have won my seat many times, and I have absolute power in the land. Of course, there is none like me. You know, who do you think you are? And by the way, he had his soothsayers, his obeah men around him, advisors advising him, and all of them were advising him wrong. They were advising him falsely. Now remember, the people of God was in bondage. They were going through difficult times, while the rich guys and the king's men and their families were living high, and they were saying to the people, nothing is wrong, we have a beautiful economy, everything is fine, what are you all talking about? You know, at least we give you guys some food, and we give you a little handout, a little water sometimes, and you know, even though we beat you down a little bit, but you're fine, you're okay. And many of them started to believe that they were fine. Of course, they started believing that everything is okay, and you know, we are good, even though they were dying, even though they saw their own countrymen, their own brother, their own sister being beaten to death or being killed, you know, because of the hard labor in the hot sun, you know. And a lot of plagues were sent, of course, and finally when the plague hit home and the king lost the politician lost his firstborn, his son, then he started acting a certain way, and go, you guys can go. And finally the people of Israel got freedom, went through, walked on dry land in the middle of an ocean, sea, water, and God was leading them into a promised land, a place that he had promised them that they would conquer, they would be victorious, they would have a land of plenty, prosperity, and everything else would have been all the goodies, tranquility, of course, they would have experienced after going through all these years of hardship in Israel. A matter of fact, the children of Israel started adopting the style of Egypt. They started feeling that this is normal to be under oppression and to be under a foolish king that was not good for their development, of course, and so they thought that was the best. They deserved what they were getting until, and even while they got out of Egypt, of hard times, they had to spend a long time in the wilderness where some of them died because they were not able to undo, to change their mindset and believe that they deserve better. They deserve to prosper. God had given them a good leader, one that would have led them into prosperity and victory, my friends. But many of them, because of the time on the hardship, they got accustomed to hardship and they start adopting and say, okay, this is good, this is nice, we're good, this is all we can do. And God wanted better for them. He had given them a leader, and even while these guys were delivered, they were complaining about their leader. They were backstabbing their leader. The leader went up to do some business with God, and he comes back and sees them doing foolishness with themselves. And when the leader got mad and challenged them, they got frustrated. They wanted their own leader. They wanted their own leader when God is saying, here's the leader that I want for you. Brothers and sisters, you know what happened? The children of Israel went through hell. They went through hell. They went through years of hardship. A little journey that would have just taken them I think not long, it would have taken them to get into the promised land. It took them forever, and still many of them could not have seen. We sent spies out. They came back with bad news. It was just a mess, but God wanted to change their mindset in order to give them this promised reality of a beautiful place of tranquility and plenty and food and happiness and everything else. He had protected them. They had won many victories, and they had lost a whole lot of them because they wanted their own thing. Every time the children of Israel went into hardship, it is because they wanted their own thing. They wanted to do their own thing. They did not want what God wanted for them. And what God wanted for them was good, but they were accustomed to bad. It was a mindset that caused many of them their lives and their families' lives. Very few made it into the promised land. Why? Because the people were set in their ways and did not want what was good. A leader was set before them, one that would have led them into prosperity, one that would have opened up opportunities for them and would have not placed tax burden on them, one that would have looked out for their well-being in a tangible way. But the people were accustomed to a little water in the sun while they're working hard, a little water handout, a little plate of lentils, soup, and maybe once in a while a little piece of roast fish, when they could have gotten much more. My friends, they had settled for less, but they paid the price. And why am I saying all this? Let me say one thing to you, friends. Let me say something to you, citizens of St. Lucia and members of the United Workers' Party. You people, the United Workers' Party, myself, I am the United Workers' Party too, supporter and member, and I believe in the philosophy. I believe in the vision of the United Workers' Party. I believe with all my heart, even more so now, in the policies of the United Workers' Party. I believe in the values of the United Workers' Party. I am not ashamed tonight. The day after election, I was not ashamed. I am not even ashamed today that I voted early in the morning at the Dennery Infant School for Benson Emil of the United Workers' Party, and I would have not voted for another one but Benson Emil of the United Workers' Party. And no matter whether if I peradventure were disgruntled with my party, I would have never voted for another party. I would have still bite the bullet and vote for the United Workers' Party because I believe in its policies. I believe in its vision. I believe in its intention for the citizens of this country, for the people of St. Lucia, for the prosperity and the goodwill of the citizens of the country. So I would have money or not, I would have stand tall with the United Workers' Party. And I'm declaring tonight that I, Garfield Oliver, a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, stands still with the United Workers' Party. I am not wavering in my support. I am not questioning my loyalty. I have no sway or no intention of leaving the United Workers' Party. In defeat, I will stand with it. In victory, I will stand with it. In low times, I will stand with it. When it's on the mountaintop of leadership, I will stand with it. When it's in the valley of opposition, I will stand with it. Whether it's 1 or 0 who have won their seat, I will stand tall with the United Workers' Party because I am not United Workers' Party-ish. I am 100% United Workers' Party strong. And my party is not defeated. My party stand tall today. My party stand tall today with its head up, lifted. We ran a decent campaign. All our efforts, all of us put our efforts together, whatever big or small it was. We put on our bands and our t-shirts and we stood in the streets. We stood at rallies and we stood with our representatives. We stood with our political leader, the Honorable Alan Shastney. And we were not ashamed to wear our colors. We stood tall in every community in St. Lucia. And we declare even on our vehicles that we are proud United Workers' Party strong. So tonight, I want to say to United Workers' Party supporters, do not be discouraged. Do not lose hope in your party. Do not follow the Labour Party with their agenda and their ideas that we should get rid of our political leader. So if we want to win an election, no, we will win election by the grace of God with our political leader. We will win elections, all of us together, and we'll do it the clean way and the decent way. We will protect the democracy of the country. We will not compromise it. And when we find out that any one of our supporters or leaders have trampled on the constitution of our country, we will stand up to them and we will declare to them that St. Lucia is strong. Helen is a great woman and we want you to pull your socks up. That's not the way forward for us. That's not what we want as United Workers' Party strong. So I tonight declare that the United Workers' Party flame is ablaze. It is ablaze. It is not tainted. No Labour Party can blow it out. No, from the day it was lit, friends, when we were defeated, we kept it ablaze. When we won, we kept it ablaze. And it is still ablaze tonight. I'm here to declare to you that it is shining brighter than ever. We are resilient. We are hopeful. And many of us are decent Christians. And we'll continue to put God above party. We will continue to put country above party. God, country, and party. And that is the sequence. That is the winning antidote. God, country, and party. And that's the winning recipe going forward for the United Workers' Party. We have been accustomed to defeat. And we also have had some wins. But we tonight are here to declare that the work continues to rebuild this country. But first, St. Lucians, United Workers' Party supporters, like I said to you, you guys fought a good fight. I saw you in action. Whether it's in Dennery South, Dennery North, View Forts and Castries and Gros Islet and Canaries. I went through all these communities. I drove through them personally to get a feel of them. So I know you did what you had to do. And even in the strongholds of the Labour Party, you guys stood strong. In the midst, my friends, in the shadows of dictatorship and vindictiveness, in the shadow of the attempt to victimize you, you stood tall and you were not afraid. I heard many of you said, look, I'm going to be victimized. I know. But I'm standing with my party. I heard you. And even those of you in Dennery South who left the Labour Party and came to the United Workers' Party, you too are fearful of victimization. You were already threatened. You were already threatened that you would lose your job, that they would fire you. But you stood tall. I spoke to many of you. I stood with many of you. We ate together. We drank together. We enjoyed the bend for the den together. We had beautiful times together. But many of you were standing tall, knowing that the shadows of persecution is about to be kindled against you. For the men at Daito in Dennery, the fishermen, those of you who stood up and you spoke loudly. Dennery Basin, most of you are my friends and I love every one of you. You guys stood tall. You protected me. You stood with me. You stood with Benson. You stood with the United Workers' Party, knowing that if the SLP wins, that is going to be absolute power. And there ain't nothing stopping them from coming after you. You guys are champions. You are the bravest of the bravest among the people. And many of you, when you were offered money, you rejected it. And those of you who were on hardship, you were going through a hell of a time financially, you took their money and you bent them. Yes, you did. You took their money and you bent them. You went into that poll and you voted for Benson Emil of Dennery South. I know it. You did it. You, the people of Dennery South, did it. I am proud of every one of you. I saw your efforts. The young men and young women who came out to work, who'd spend endless time in Lakai and in Dennery in the village. You stood your ground. I stood with you. There's some of you who were sick, needed medical intervention. I intervened on your behalf. We brought water for you and we encouraged you to keep the faith and keep hanging in. And even while they were shouting insults at you, you were proud in your yellow t-shirts. I saw you under the tents. And I am proud today. My heart is happy. Friends, if you can only see within me, you will see joy. You will see strength. You will see United Workers' Party strong. So we are not dead. We are accustomed to defeat. And we are accustomed to all sorts of defeats, whether stolen elections, compromised elections, falsehood, and all what goes on sometimes. No matter how we lose, friends, we are good losers because we always bounce back. And we always bounce back stronger than ever. Stronger together we are. And so, all of you, UWPs, from Poile, Miku, and all those areas, and I spent a lot of time in Miku and Poile, you guys deserve a round of applause. It is not over. Don't you dare wallow in defeat. Dust it off. Get up. And let's continue to build a stronger, a safer, and a better St. Lucia for all. Starting from every community, we will build the United Workers' Party. Community by community. One person at a time. One home at a time. One family at a time. We will build back strong. We are resilient. So don't you pa wete la akodi amun tiechao. No, don't give Labour Party that power. They won. They're the government. And we understand that. But don't you dare feel defeated. Walk with your head up like me. I got to the airport with my band. And I love the airport workers. They were all plucky. Ek modiyo gasa money a whole suitcase of tikwa. Ek lavie New York ek se briefcase la overweight. Ek not just we, because listen to me. I know many of you are going to go through some hard times. But we all are going to go through it together. You're not alone. Caribbean American News, I'm here to declare to you, my fellow St. Lucians and UWPs, will be there with you. As long as God gives me breath, by the grace of God, I am standing with you. So you are not alone. So don't feel that you are defeated. You are not. We are going to be here with you. The journey has started from today for us. This platform goes into high gear on Tuesday, God's willing. So I am not abandoning you. The platform is not abandoning you. And the United Workers' Party will be stronger than ever. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for growth. This is an opportunity for us to rebuild. This is an opportunity to present a modern, efficient, policy-driven, United Workers' Party to the citizens of this country. And I want to add, no SLP, no St. Lucia Labour Party supporter will dictate to us who is our leader. We have not, no one has died and give you that power over us. And if you were part of us and you left us, you are not part of us anymore. So you can't dictate to us who is our political leader or not. We as a party will decide, not you. You're out of place, you're out of order, and you're indiscreet to tell us what to do with our political leader tonight. St. Lucians, I stand 100% with the Honorable Alan Michael Shastney. He's a proven leader. He stood up, all those who are bitter and sour, because he stood up to them and they couldn't do their nonsense. He stood up to them and he won many of them for leadership. So I understand their bitterness. I understand their attack against him. But what we will not do is to allow any one of them, former UWPs, or even present UWPs, or even Labour Party supporters, or their leaders, to dictate to us who will become our political leader. We take that power from you. If you think you had it, it is not yours. We, the people of the United Workers' Party, will decide who is our political leader, not you. Not you. And yes, I agree that there are some leaders in our party that we need to say thank you for your service, but we will move forward. We will move forward. There are some among us who are not people person. They can't communicate effectively with people. They act like bourgeois in our party. They act like the owners of the party. And they sometimes lock those who are willing to serve, lock them out. I say, if you are that person, sweetheart, mister, you got to go. I will not ask you to leave the party, but you will have to allow us the room, the space to grow the party, to get the party where it needs to be, to develop a well-oiled machine for the people of St. Lucia. And my honest opinion is, many of you have worked hard in the party, some of our leaders. You have worked hard. And I understand that there are those who have worked hard enough to ensure that we did not win. And there are those who sowed confusion among us. But there is a God. And I'm saying the United Workers' Party need to continue to remember the church's address. You are in church every day. Remember those address, folks. Don't use God like he is some tool. If you're going to serve him, be real with him. Continue. And to our candidates, yes, we put forward good candidates to represent us. They did not make it. I want to say congratulations to every one of you, because the party was able to select you out of many to run. You did not make it. It's okay. It's okay. But my advice to you is to continue in the United Workers' Party, in the communities. Show the people that you are real. And I'm watching you guys. You put your names up to become candidates. You did not make it and you walk away from the people. That's not going to go down well. Stay in your communities. Work your communities. And when the time comes for us to select candidates, and if you are not selected, work with those who are selected to serve the nation. But you got to stay at the front in your communities. Look out for the people. Petition on their behalf. Don't just jump up because you wanted to win. You're all over the communities and now they can't find you. No. We're going to do things differently. Stay the course. Keep working if you're real. Stay with them. Listen to them. Let's get back to decency in our country. The Labour Party is one. Forget about it. They're the leaders. Things will continue as it were. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be. Yes, my friends, you're going to hear a lot. You're going to see a lot. But the Labour Party have enough to deal with when it comes to political leaders. All I'm saying to you, mind your business. Let's deal with our business. And we have a lot of work to do. There's a whole lot of shifting, lifting, and mopping, and sweeping, and cleaning up that we need to do. But together we'll do it. I want to say before I bring in my guests, I want to say to the Alan Chastney family, his father, his mother, his children, his brothers, his sisters, his wife, the entire family, thank you so much for what you have done for the people of St. Lucia. I know it might be hard. And I'm sure Mr. Chastney understands that he's not a king. I'm sure he understands that the people put up and the people put down. I am sure he's not angry. And I'm sure that he's not disappointed because he lost. The people did not vote him. I am sure his disappointment would be for the many people that he gave a shoulder to lean on. The many families or individuals that he have lent, or the family would have lent a helping hand, who turned their backs on them. I am sure that is where the pain will be. Those who were in his own building, those whom received more help than any St. Lucians, and would that have turned their backs on him just when the family needed them most. I am sure that's where the pain came from, if there is any pain. But to the Alan Chastney family and the Dibole family, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for what you have done for the United Workers' Party. We will never forget it. We will always remember the good. And we are not here to say that you are a perfect man, Mr. Chastney, but we're here to say that you are good enough for the United Workers' Party. We're here to say that you are good enough for St. Lucia because you are genuine. You are genuine. I heard you at night, whether it's 12 o'clock in the night when we speak, or in the morning or at noonday. You always took my call, or you always return that call, whether it's your wife or you. I know your heart by now. I listen to you, and I listen to your joys, and I listen to your pain. I listen to you when you're down, I listen to you when you're up. And I will say to you, sir, you have a good heart. And in spite of the abuse and the racism and the nastiness against you, both internal and external, I stand with you today as one who understands what human beings are, as one who understands hypocrisy, as one who understands nastiness, as one who understands loyalty and friendship, and one who cherishes it with everything and protects that friendship, because the Bible says love covers a multitude of sin. I have my weaknesses and you have your weaknesses, and my weaknesses are not yours, but you have a loving heart. You're a beautiful person, beautiful soul. And I pray for strength for your family as you go through betrayal, as you go through bad mind and fight down and racism and bigotry. I proudly and boldly stand with the Right Honorable Alan Michael Shastney, a visionary leader, a leader, if won on Friday, tomorrow morning would have turned St. Lucia into something spectacular. One who would have challenged the health system, challenged the norm. One who would have given us that airport that was his dream. We stand with you, sir. So let not your heart be troubled, and neither let it be dismayed. Again, my people, my Flabo Nation, stand tall, stand proud. Your Flabo light is ablaze, and we're back to work. This is not the last election. We are back on the job, and we're getting it done. So for those of you who are from the different branches in St. Lucia, those of you who did not support the United Workers' Party, but yet you were chairpersons, my advice to you is to resign. Don't stay there. Resign. That's the best thing to do. To those of you who had ill intention for the United Workers' Party, but yet you were in the executives and in different branches and you were all up in there, my advice to you is to please do the right thing. Step out of the way so that those who have Flabo at heart can come forward and lead this great party into prosperity and victory. But it's time for us to shake it off and move forward. The other thing is, Flabo Nation, and I'm saying this publicly, let us stop doubting our people. There's a whole lot of you who, every time you have a disagreement, the Flabo is not good. Every time you have a disagreement, the political leader is not good. Every time you have a disagreement with someone, the whole party should be voted out. You go out of your way to ensure that they look bad in public. I'm saying it to you, folks. That's not how you do it if you're from the heart. If you do it from the heart, it says love covers a multitude of sin. So you will call leaders, you would speak to them in private, and you would say to them, this is wrong, this is right, this is not good, I don't like this. but you will not assassinate them in public. Wisdom. The wise man says, if you lack it, ask and you will receive it. But you don't shoot yourself in the foot and say you love yourself. You don't shoot bullets in your roof, especially if you have a galvanized roof and it's raining. Whole cow kai bouye. Wisdom is what is lacking in the nation. Wisdom is what is missing among the people. And everyone says, I have my mouth to talkie. So because you have your mouth to talkie, you say what you want everywhere and anywhere. That got to stop. And I understand that sometimes when you can't speak to leaders or you can't get them, then the only cause sometimes is to go public because nobody's listening. I understand that too, folks. It is called pressure. And normally those pressure will burst pipe. Sometimes the pipe need to burst. And that's true. There's a time for everything under the sun. Time to build up and a time to break down. That's what the Bible says. The wise man says it. Everything under the sun there's a time for. There's a time to love, a time to hate, a time to mash up, and a time to build up. But we must know the time. Understand the timing. It takes wisdom to do so, my St. Lucians. But I am saying to my flabber people, especially our elderlies, who took this very hard, put chair. To the many families who listen to me, elderlies, throughout the length and breadth of the country, I met many of your sons, your families. One guy said to me, my mother who's 80 and she's blind, I got to set that thing for her, that television for her. I have to set the program for her every time. And she's so disappointed when she don't hear you. And I felt it. And I took it to heart. And I'm ever committed to being here every Tuesday, God's willing. And we'll add another show if we have to, once the space is there, for us to be here to champion the cause of the United Workers' Party. So I'm declaring, folks, that I am united and strong. I am united and strong. And finally, before I take my call, I want to talk to those of you, flabbos, who took the Labour Party money, or all St. Lucians, rather, who took monies and did not vote or voted against yourself. I'm going to say to you that you're in this alone. You made a conscious decision. You were given all the information to make your decision. Nobody forces you. But because of greed and filthy lucre, you voted against your own interests. It's your right to vote against your own interests. It is also your right, when you vote against your own interests, to wepu cow. We're going to be here as a voice, but for those of you who intentionally took monies and stayed away from the polls, whole cow pabo. But the democracy prevails. Yeah? Yeah, democracy prevails. So going forward, you're going to hear me saying a lot of, you voted for this, the people voted for it. That's what I'm going to be saying. I'm going to speak loud as I can, but I'm going to say to many of you, that's what you voted for. Don't blame me. I voted for Ben. You know, I just saw somebody said, Jojo, I saw you said block. I haven't looked at the comments yet, so I don't know what is happening there. But I am not fearful of these hacks. We are not losers. You know who are the real losers in the country? Those who cannot afford. Those who have no backer. Those who have no contact in the police force or contact at some ministry or somebody who can pull a little string for them. Those are the real losers. You know who are the winners? Big money. You see all those big shots who are renting buildings all over St. Lucia, those with trucks driving all over St. Lucia, those who are at the big restaurants, drinking expensive stuff and eating expensive stuff, those with 2 homes and 3 homes and 5 homes, they are the real winners. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And you know, the mood is still red. You know why? Because they got their little vouchers and their little $2,000. A friend of mine got $4,000. They have their little money, so things still hot. But there's going to come a time very shortly where that money will run down to a penny. And a penny can't get you anywhere. A whole cow, pack I bon. But celebrate. It's your right to celebrate you won. But I would say that the rich won and the poor are the losers. Those with their health challenges are the losers. Those who work at this local city councils in the different communities that will lose their jobs, they are the real losers. I am not the loser. If you're talking about me as a loser, I am here in the United States and I have every safety net available to me. If I lose my job, I get unemployment. I apply and I get it. If I get sick and I can't walk, disability steps in. If I don't have food, ask some of the labor hacks. Pantries in every corner. Whole come with bomb. Was how much your chicken tooth bagay, vegetables, fruits, free of charge. I know where to go to get them. Medical, I know exactly where to get it. So I have enough safety net. So if you think that I am the loser and I should bow gracefully as a loser, no, you're talking to the wrong person. I ain't no loser. I am a winner. I am a winner, and there are many under the platform who are winners. Our party would have lost an election, but we have not lost our souls. We didn't sell it for 40 cents. We didn't sell it for $2,000 a vote. No, many of us rejected that. So we are not losers, we are winners. You know why? We exercise our franchise. You know who won? Big money. Not democracy, actually. Because big money is not part of the democracy. People didn't shed their blood or died so that we can vote, so that somebody can buy our votes. Nobody had to die to do that. But individuals gave up their lives for the democracy that we are happy showing today and allowing big money to prevail against the interests of the people. That is what we call a loser. But if you think that I should bow my head in any shame, listen to me. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. Cattle on 1,000 hills are his. And if I'm his child, they are my cattle too. They are my cows too. And they're counted by hills, not by cattle, by head. My father's cattle are counted by hills. So, you might want to wheel and come again. If that's supposed to be an insult or some attempt to humiliate and to mock the United Workers' Party, I stand with all my United Workers' Party supporters. You ain't mocking them. They ain't no losers. No. They ain't no losers. So I'm going to bring in but the fact is many of you sold your votes. And you've sold it last week. And up to today, broke, fun. Is that true? Yes. Because I see some of you, I see how you move. Early morning, 7 o'clock, some rum, and you're good. A piece of chicken later on, and you're good. You don't think that you deserve some nice, fine jus de raison? You don't think you deserve a nice wall house? You want to settle. like the children of Israel, for hardship and crumbs. You can get the whole bread. You can get the whole bread. But let's take a call. Let's bring in our person here. And I'm gonna honestly block anyone that is coming here to disrupt our flow. We're going to be blocking them. I'm going to ask my folks to take care of that. All right. So let's just give me a minute before I bring in my guests so that I can protect our viewers, so that we can ensure that these people do not come here to disrupt. And many of them are empowered. They want and they feel that they're in charge of St. Lucia. They're in charge of your home, your mouth. You can't laugh, you can't smile, you can't wear yellow because they won. And I saw the attitude. One guy attacked me, and I'm going to put his picture up, in Dennery at the fisheries. I was standing there by my mother, and the guy just went loose on me. And I am just watching this guy like a big dummy, basically. You won and you still are âgé. You won and you're still mad. Celebrate. I'm not stopping you. But leave me alone. You don't know me. At the airport, one guy, Shasney pay for your flights. And how is that your business? You say he's not good, but he's paying for our flight. That is a good thing if a man can pay for my flight or pay for our flights. What is wrong about that? The man do, he's bad. He don't do, he's bad. Well, how can we please you guys? You won, you're more vex. We should be the one vex. We ain't vex. You guys are under the live insulting and playing games. I see how you guys operate. You guys were even on the plane in the air doing foolishness with yourself. And you guys are so funny that you come into JFK Airport or Miami Airport and you in red looking like the people in the United States don't even care in your red or your yellow. A matter of fact, the people here who are Democrats and Republicans, they don't even do what you do. You acting like and loud and disrespectful to the air hostess and the folks at the airport. Yeah, red, my prime minister win. And the people are asking, who's your prime minister? They're asking, what's the country name? They're asking, who's your president? Huh? What state of your state you're from? And you tell them we don't have a state, it's just a small country, oh. And they're like, and you're acting like this. Like we have to bow to you because you win and take your insults too. And it's a level of ignorance. St. Lucia does not belong to the Labour Party. It still belongs to the people of the country, all people. And when your party win, it doesn't mean that your police officers who are hacks, I met a lot of you, who are hacks and are ready to do the bidding of the Labour Party against the citizens, don't mean that we have to roll over and take it. No. You got to be professional in your job. I don't need to know you're a hack, of course. And it's very easy to find out the hacks. And I did a prank on one, really. I was like, I stood next to one and I was talking. I was like, boy, the Labour Party is just spending all this money. Look at all this money in the campaign. And I keep babbling because I saw the guy that I figured he was a hack. And then he acted right away. Sir, you need to go 100 yards. Blah, blah, blah. I looked at him and I said, bro, can you not be a hack for once in your work? Can you not be a hack? And you know the other police officers are watching him and shaking their heads. The other police officers who are not any party hacks, they are looking at the gentleman because they know him and they are shaking their heads. Very easy to know them. But be professional. Support your party, be professional. Righteousness, do exalt the nation. Sin, bring reproof. So there are some names that I have to block right now because we do not encourage these type of characters or attitude on our platform. My fellow people will be protected here. This is what they have. This is the only institution that has not been corrupted, has not been infiltrated. So when they come here, they should have a place where they can vent, where they can speak, where they can express themselves without you, the winners, insulting them and disrespecting them. All right? I wanted the money. So there's going to be a whole lot of blocking, friends. A whole lot of blocking. Here goes another one. 2 gone already. Let's just try to weed them out. Any hack want to show themselves quickly? Come on, hack, show yourself. Show yourself. You can be here, but be respectful. You can say to me, Gasa, Nugezo, that is good. We can laugh at it. But don't be doing nastiness here. No. Just give me a minute, folks. Let me just monitor this. I saw somebody said, man, respect the people's decision. That's not for me. I'm not even going to respond to it. Okay, so I will take some time, and folks, I will protect the platform. I'm not going to block people because I want to block them. Anyone who is disrespectful, I'm going to block, because I see a trend in St. Lucia where people are disrespectful, friends. They are very disrespectful, especially with this win. Very disrespectful, and they want to take away the rights of Flabos to speak. And not only that, they want to take away your rights to just breathe, just to smile. Yeah? Anyway. All right, so let's go over to our caller. We're going to bring in a friend of the show at this time. All right? So just bear with me, folks. The phone line is, being set up so that our call can come in. Give me a minute. Okay, so that call is coming through now.
Good evening to you, Pastor Garfield.
Good evening, my friend. This is Maniva Ward on the line, folks. I just gave her a call, and I'm happy that she was able to answer the phone call. What are your thoughts? And by the way, good evening to you. What are your thoughts on the 2025 elections?
First of all, are you hearing me clearly? Because I'm using my headphones.
Yes, we're hearing you very clear.
I'm hearing an echo.
Oh, I'll take the echo out. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you better now.
Okay,
so
good.
I just want to say good night to you, first of all. I want to say good night to almost 700 people listening to your live tonight.
Oh, wow.
I want to say good night to all the UWP supporters listening tonight. I want to say good night to all the SLP supporters listening tonight. I feel privileged that they would be tuning away from their celebratory victory tonight and chose to listen to your platform. So clearly there's interest here. They want to hear what we have to say. For them to abandon their own victory rally to be tuning into your live. So welcome to the Labour Party supporters under the live tonight. I want to say good evening to Alan Chasney. I want to say good evening to all of our candidates. Yeah. I want to say good evening to everybody. Mm-hmm. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. I will start by saying I'm happy that you started with the journey of the people of Israel into the Promised Land. And I'm happy you started that way, because a journey that should have... What happened with our election? Your question was, what are my thoughts about our election? And I'm happy you brought in that analogy, because I've been thinking a lot about this. A journey that should have taken 11 days took 40 years to bring the children of Israel into the Promised Land. A journey that should have taken 11 days took 40 years of people through their disobedience, through their rebellion, through their worshiping false gods, all of that took them 40 years instead of 11 days. And that reminds me of St. Lucian. That reminds me of where we are today. I will take it from non-biblical terms to our own history in St. Lucia. And what we see happening today with Alan Chasney and the way Alan Chasney has been treated is no different from the way John Compton was treated by St. Lucians.
Thank you.
And I will dare say, and I will dare remind St. Lucians that John Compton was treated similarly, if not worse, than Alan Chasney was. John Compton brought St. Lucia to independence in 1979, and shortly thereafter, he was kicked out of basically of the leadership of St. Lucia. People did not want to see him. They didn't want to hear from him. They didn't want nothing to do with him. Janice Compton reminded us that John Compton was almost killed 3 times by his opponents, and his opponents were the St. Lucia Labour Party. 3 times. They invaded his bedroom, and almost, he wasn't there, but his wife was there. His young children were there. And almost on 3 occasions, almost killed John Compton. I will remind St. Lucians that even after, in Janice Compton's own words, she says she can never understand how in 1979, after winning such a decisive victory, after the Labour Party won such a decisive victory in 1979, they still, the UWP called their supporters to a thank you rally in the boulevard. They won the Labour Party won a decisive victory, but instead of being happy, they could not help themselves. The UWP called their supporters to a victory rally in the boulevard in 1979. And you know what the Labour Party did? I'm taking it down for history because we need to know our history to understand what is happening today. People who forget their history are doomed to repeat it. That's right. And that's what we're seeing today. Despite the fact that they had won, UWP invite their supporters to a little rally to mourn, to thank you for your support. Labour Party saw nothing better to do than to take Sakaka and pearls at UWP supporters in the boulevard.
And that was 1979, right?
1979. Yeah. I was a few months old. Garfield, you probably weren't born yet.
Come on.
And I think I'm older than you.
No, you're not.
But that night became known as Plywood City because mass confusion broke out in the city. Buildings in the city, glass was broken. There was looting, tear gas. Businesses that had intention to invest in St. Lucia that night pulled out. Janice Compton, in her own words, told us Mattel, Puma pulled out, or was it Adidas, one of those shoe companies that were planning that John Compton had worked on getting investment, pulled out because of what happened that night. And that has been the MO of the Labour Party. Nothing has changed about the Labour Party. The same disgusting, filthy, wicked, vile ways of the Labour Party remain today. And I want all UWPs under this live who are listening to the sound of my voice to listen to me very clearly, because I will read this to what is happening today. I want UWPs who are listening tonight to type in the comments, I am listening, because I want you all to understand what I'm about to say. Type in the comments, I am listening. The same way John Compton was treated is the same way Alan Shasnik is today being treated.
That's right.
So, Garfield, people, human beings, they tell me, you know the Bible more than me. They chose Barabbas and crucified Jesus. Yes or no?
Yep.
Okay, but today we spend every day praying for Jesus to return. Yes or no?
Yes, that's right.
They did not want to see John Compton. There's a time they did not want to see him. They called him Jab, they called him Devil, they called him all the words in the book. They tried to kill him 3 times.
Call him a
yes
foreigner.
Or no? Okay, yes, they said you're some Beckway. Yes or no?
Yes.
Didn't they have to beg John Compton to return to save St. Lucia in 2006? Yes or no?
That's right.
Didn't they have to beg John Compton to leave retirement and come back to save St. Lucia in 2006? Yes or no?
Yes.
The same John Compton they did not want to see. The same John Compton, the Labour Party, deprived him of the dignity of taking our parking spot in the William Peter Boulevard in front of his building. St. Lucians had to beg for him to return to rescue St. Lucia.
That's right.
I will remind St. Lucians that what is happening with Alan Shasta today is no different from what they did to Jesus, from what they did to John Compton. I will remind St. Lucians that what is happening today in St. Lucia is no different from the disobedience and rebellion and the false gods and the idolatry of the Israelites, which took an 11-day journey, took them 40 years to get to the promised land. So this is what I want St. Lucians to remember. Any UWP, and I want you to listen to my words carefully here.
Yep.
Any UWP leader, whether John Compton, whether Alan Chasney, at the time it was Von Lewis, there was a time it was Stevenson King, will face the disgustingness of the Labour Party and what they have done to both John Compton and Alan Chasney and Von Lewis and Stevenson King. I want St. Lucians to remember, and that is why UWP supporters need to stand firmly behind our leaders and our potential leaders. I'm saying it again. UWP supporters need to stand firmly and defend our leaders and our UWP leaders.
Yep.
Pastor Garfield, we can bring Jesus Christ from heaven and put as our political leader. And the Labour Party will demonize Jesus Christ. Let me tell you something. They have seen and they have understood, because many people have mentioned Tommy Descat as the future of the party, of the UWP. I'll get to Tommy in a second. Let me just go back. The hatred towards John Compton. But today the Labour Party will pretend they always love John Compton. No, they treated John Compton worse than they treated Alan Chasney.
But now they're celebrating him and his family.
Okay? Yes, they will act as if it never happened.
Yeah.
Stevenson King, Von Lewis, he took a St. Lucian scholar, a brilliant St. Lucian, Von Lewis, and they called him a drunk. They called him bounty. They diminished Von Lewis. They took Stevenson King and they said Stevenson King was the only certificate he had was a birth certificate. They called him uneducated.
Yeah.
They ridiculed him that he bent down for Wycliffe Jeff. Eventually, both Von Lewis and Stevenson King, they had to kiss the ring, the ring of the Labour Party. They had to kiss the ring, that evil ring of the Labour Party, and ended up in the Labour Party. Alan Chasney came. The level of racism directed at Alan Chasney, simply because he has a white parent and a black parent, the same as Kenny Anthony, the same as Barack Obama, one white parent, one black parent. The level of racism and disgust and hatred, it is heart-wrenching. But this is the people who are evil. There's a lot of evil in St. Lucia, a lot of spiritual wickedness, a lot of spiritual blindness in St. Lucia. And that is the reality of what is going on. But I will tell you, any UWP leader we have, expect there to be a target on their back.
Yep.
So you have Tommy Descat, whose name has emerged. Many people have been mentioning him, not him alone, other people. You know, the fortunate thing about UWP is in a place where we have such a good cadre of potential leaders. So many names are being mentioned, but I'll just tell you what I see them doing to Tommy. Tommy is a young man, well-educated, pristine, God-fearing man. When you listen to Tommy, you could see Tommy doesn't just talk about God. You could see the man is spiritually grounded.
He is.
The man has made it clear that corruption is not part of anything he will ever be a part of. The guy is bright, he is brilliant, he's smart. Tommy's not involved in no bacchanal life. Tommy not running women. There's nothing you can point to about Tommy. There's nothing you can say about Tommy. There's nothing. You cannot say anything. There's nothing you could have said. Let me tell you what they have done to Tommy. And I want you WPs to understand. I want them to stop being so naive. And I want them to stand firmly behind our candidates and stop repeating Labour Party nonsense and stop feeding into Labour Party's nonsense. I want you all to type right now. I am listening because I want to make sure you understand what is happening. And I come from the Labour Party. That's why I'm telling you all I understand how the Labour Party operates. I want you to open their eyes. I come from the Labour Party. When I talk because I understand how the Labour Party operates. I have been trained by the Labour Party. I am telling you the Labour Party playbook. I want UWPs to understand. So what happened on election day? We know that the Labour Party bought votes. There has been mass buying of votes by the Labour Party using our CIP money. We know that for a fact.
And I saw the monies with my own eyes too, in Denver South and North.
Of course.
Yep.
And I will come to some of those stories. But we know, either we know people who got paid, we saw the videos of Chandra harassing, buying votes. We know of people who have told us. We know that there's mass buying of votes. We know Ernest Hille in his constituency, this election, even last election, we saw his friend, the lawyer, his best friend, Beaker, buying votes on election day.
Yeah.
But this government, the audacity of the Labour Party, the audacity, they will take all their skills and try to put it on the UWP. So you know what they did? Their thing to try to tarnish Tommy. Because what they do, they don't wait until you become leader.
Yeah.
They tarnish you in advance. They see your potential in advance and they target you in advance.
Yep. But they have good eyes for good leaders too, we must say, the Labour Party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They do. They targeted Tommy. So here's what happened. On election day, okay, on instruction from his opponent, okay, with rogue elements in the police force. And I'm going to call their names. Ronald Phillip and his band of rogue police officers. Not all. It's a small group of rogue
it's a small
police.
Group, yeah.
I want St. Lucians to understand that we are becoming like Haiti. We are becoming a failed state where democracy no longer holds. So you have a rogue police deputy police commissioner who is waiting in line, and I am certain, and I'm going to talk about it in a bit, I am certain that now the election has been won, I am certain this police officer who had multiple counts of rape and sexual assault against him will be made police commissioner. Yeah. They were probably just waiting for the election to be done.
Yep, no doubt about
for that to happen.
Yep.
So he has a band of black squad police officers, rogue police officers, on instructions that came down the line. The police went to Tommy with no tip-off. Nobody said, we never said, you were buying votes. Listen, after the polls were closed, Tommy had no money on him. I want supporters under the light to listen carefully. Yeah. Okay? Tommy Descott had no money on him. The polls were closed. Okay? One of Tommy's people in his campaign, the party had given all of our candidates a certain amount of money because you have to pay your agents who work, you have to pay them in cash. You can't give them checks, right? Yep. If you work at a polling station, you have to pay them in cash. You have to pay your buses who have been transporting people. Yep. There are certain costs you have in election day. Our party gave all of our candidates cash so they can settle at the end of the night with people. At the end of the night, the police, after the polls were closed, came within a 100-yard thing. Yeah. Not Tommy. Tommy has no cash on him. One of the people in his campaign. Okay? The police approaching Tommy saw the police approaching the guy, came to ask what is going on. Tommy came to ask what was going on. The police took all of them down. Tommy had no cash on him. There's a picture they have of ID cards. The ID cards were the 3 people who they took down. The 3 people.
So okay? The police got ID cards.
3 ID cards. They took a picture, and the lawyer who was there, who came down to the police to see ID, told me she was right there when that picture was taken. That picture that got circulated around. It was 3 ID cards belonging to Tommy, and the 2 others in his campaign who were taken down. Tommy had no cash on him. And furthermore, I want people to listen to me clearly. The money, if Garfield, let's say you had cash on you, how could you be buying votes after the polls were closed? How could you say them? How could I accuse you, the money I found on you, of attempting to buy votes when the polls were closed? They have no case. They had to let them go immediately. As soon as the lawyers came down, they realized they have absolutely no case. Okay? No case. But that is an attempt to tarnish and to dirty Tommy's reputation. So while we all know, while we saw the videos of Chandra Harrison buying votes out of her car, while we all know what has happened in constituencies, and we all either we approach ourselves or we know of people in our family or friends who were approached by the Labour Party and paid for votes, they will try to put their filth on Tommy Descott. That is the Labour Party. And I see UWP supporters repeating that nonsense.
Yeah, I heard it too.
I want you all to listen to me tonight.
Yep.
I see UWP supporters repeating that nonsense. I want you all to stop that nonsense you all are doing. I want you all to stop repeating Labour Party talking points about our people. It's the same way, maybe to a lesser extent I see you all doing it now, but it's the same way I see you all repeating the crap Labour Party puts out about Alan Shaftney. Okay? The same way I see you all doing now, Tommy. I want you all to stop that. I want you all to stop that. The same way last election you were talking about Guy Joseph. No proof of no corruption about Guy Joseph. 4 years later, 5 years later, not a shred of evidence about Guy Joseph. But you all were in the 2021 election repeating, oh, Guy Joseph, without a shred of evidence. Okay? You did it to Alan Shaftney. The same, y'all were the same ones buying into the Labour Party narrative. Today I hear UWPs repeating that nonsense.
I heard it, yes. I had
you
to
all need to
rebuke a
stop
number of
that.
them. Yeah.
Yes, you all need to stop that. You all need to understand how the Labour Party operates and stand by our people, stand by our leaders, stand by our potential leaders, and stop this nonsense. The Labour Party tarnishes our people way in advance. I will talk about this election. Let me tell you something. I am proud of our candidates. I am proud of our political leader. Let me just talk about Alan Shaftney for a bit.
Please.
Let me just talk about Alan Shaftney for a bit. Listen, again, I come from the camp of the Labour Party. So, Labour Party taught their supporters to hate the Shaftneys. If you remember, in 2006, in 2000, was it? No, it was 2000, before 2006, Kenny Anthony said that the 2006 election was not a war with the UWP. It was a war against the Shaftneys.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember. Yep.
Okay.
I do.
Kenny Anthony said that election would be a war against the Shaftneys. And again, I want people to understand the long-term planning the Labour Party does and the long-term destruction the Labour Party does. So from 2005, I would say, the Labour Party were already at war with the Shaftneys. They were already diminishing both Alan Shaftney and Michael Shaftney. And they created hate in the Labour Party and the supporters for the Shaftneys. Alan Shaftney was not even really in politics yet, because it was in only 2006 when Sir John won, he invited Alan Shaftney to be a part of his cabinet through the Senate. So I moved from a position of being a Labour Party supporter and buying into the Labour Party narrative about Alan Shaftney. Not knowing Alan Shaftney, but buying into the hatred they had created for Alan Shaftney and the Shaftneys. Let me tell you, in 2015, when I paused and reflected on the state of my country, and in 2011, I was very much part of the Labour Party campaign. I was on the Labour Party campaign team. I was on the Labour Party PR team. I was very much part of the Labour Party machinery that won the 2011 election. Yes, I was. I was also part of the revitalization committee for the SLPYO. When I tell you I have been in the belly of the Labour Party, when I tell you I understand how the Labour Party operates, when I tell you I am giving you the playbook of the Labour Party, you better believe me. I know what I'm talking about. In 2015, I could no longer support the Labour Party. I felt that the Labour Party had failed St. Lucia. I was part of the machinery that brought Kenny Anthony a win in 2011. When I saw the economy and the state of the economy, the comatose state, and comatose means dead. There's nothing. You know, when somebody's in a coma, they're not dead, but you're on life support. That was the state of the economy of St. Lucia in 2015. Kenny Anthony came in. The global financial crisis had happened 2008, 2009. Kenny Anthony in 2015 was still blaming that for the state of St. Lucia's economy in 2015. Okay? Kenny Anthony, that happened under UWP government. There was no hurricane under the Labour Party. There was nothing. Labour Party, Kenny Anthony got things smooth sailing. He failed to turn around the economy. All other OACS countries had turned around the economy, and Kenny Anthony had still not been able to do that. He was still making excuses for the failed economy, for the failed state of the economy. Captain, I said, as a St. Lucian, okay, because I am a St. Lucian first. Before I am anything else, I am St. Lucian. Before I am a Canadian, I am St. Lucian. Before I'm a UWP supporter, I am St. Lucian. Before I was a Labour Party supporter, I am St. Lucian. I am St. Lucian to my core, in every fiber of my being, I am St. Lucian. And my allegiance is to my country first. Okay? I said I could no longer support the Labour Party and Kenny Anthony. I could not. I didn't want to be, do not ask me to justify the portion of the economy. Don't ask me. I remember telling JDL in 2015, please do not, respectfully, do not tag me in anything. Okay? I cannot make excuses for the state of the country. In 2016, still not a fan of Alan Chastney, but Alan Chastney was the political leader of the UWP. I decided, you know what? I'm not a big fan of Alan Chastney, but I'm going to give Alan Chastney a chance. Okay? Because in my mind, anything was better than the Labour Party. Anything was better. And let me tell you, I was still critical of Alan Chastney. There are things I criticized Alan Chastney about, so I can be fair and objective. There's still have criticisms people can see. After I supported Alan Chastney in 2016, I was still able to be objective. But let me tell you what endeared me to Alan Chastney. Let me tell you what endeared me to Alan Chastney. First of all, Alan Chastney took a broken economy. And when solutions want to hypocritically come and say, oh, Alan Chastney said St. Lucia was broke, Alan Chastney said that in 2017, and the country was broke. You know why? Because in 2016, Kenny Anthony said, no financial institution will lend St. Lucia any money.
Yep,
Kenny Anthony said that.
Yeah.
He said, if something happened, the financial institutions told St. Lucia, go and put our fiscal house in order. None of them would lend us money. So when Alan Chastney came in 2016 and 2017 and said, the country is broke, he did not lie. He did not lie. He was letting St. Lucians know exactly what it was. Alan Chastney came in and reduced that from 15% to 12.5%, okay, and turned around the economy. For years until COVID, we had positive economic growth. Okay, our debt to GDP ratio. Labour Party want to boast how they brought down debt to GDP ratio. Under Alan Chastney, before COVID, our debt to GDP ratio was under 60%. Okay, what endeared me to Alan Chastney was how Alan Chastney managed COVID.
Yep.
Solution for COVID. Yep. And I want Alan Chastney, if you listen to me tonight, no, let me tell you something. People have the different reasons for loving Alan Chastney. That is my reason for loving Alan Chastney. I will forever, as a damn proud St. Lucian, that is his legacy that can never be erased. How St. Alan Chastney managed St. Lucia through COVID, okay? Protecting people's lives and their livelihoods, keeping our tourism industry open safely, okay? But not just that, the empathy Alan Chastney showed for St. Lucians. When other countries, when other people from Trinidad, St. Vincent could not get home, Alan Chastney ensured that every St. Lucian around the world who needed to get home, who was stuck abroad, got home safely.
Yeah, he caught my attention during that time. Yes, he did.
I'm telling you,
yeah.
I was pleased with Alan Chastney's performance, but that made me see the heart of the man. The heart.
That's right.
Because the empathy. Don't tell me Alan Chastney is a white man. Don't tell me that. Show me how you can love people. Okay? When Alan Chastney could understand that your farmers now have produce, your fishermen who need to earn a living, but because our trading industry shut down, these people need a market to sell because they no longer can sell to the hotels. For a while, the industry was shut down. Remember? Our airports were closed for a long time when COVID broke. these people need a thing for the market, a market for the sale of their produce.
Yeah.
And he made sure these things were bought and distributed to St. Lucians, hot meals, food,
And I
all
think that
of
was
that.
a good thing, though. Bought the food from the farmers and then distribute it to St. Lucians. That was a good thing.
Absolutely, to people in need.
Yeah.
But it shows the heart of a man.
Yeah.
It shows the heart of a man.
Yeah.
Now, I'll fast forward. But the Labour Party now, they have. So I'll just fast forward a bit. But I want to make the point. I don't know if Alan Chastain is listening.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
want him to know that the Labour Party can never erase his legacy. And we are just like they cannot erase Sir John's legacy. They have tried. His mark is on St. Lucia. Alan Chastain, they can never erase his legacy. And Labour Party wants to act like COVID never happened. It happened. And Alan Chastain ensured that every civil servant was paid, every debt extinguisher was paid, every bill was paid. He made sure he managed St. Lucia through the worst economic crisis that none of those guys who are there today would be able to manage St. Lucia through. None. And he has every reason to be proud. I am proud of him. I love him. I respect him. And the people of Nico South have given him an even bigger mandate, despite all the manipulation electoral, despite all the mass buying of votes, the millions of dollars of our CIP money that was unleashed to buy votes in St. Lucia. The people of Nico South stood with him and gave him an even bigger mandate. And let me tell you something. I am proud of our people. I am proud of UWPs. Because you know why? What I saw, the determination of the UWPs.
Yeah.
This is not 2021 where UWPs, king full UWPs and people stayed home. I don't think that's what happened. Our people were determined. There's a love for Alan Chastain from our people. There is a love for Alan Chastain from our people. And his people of Nico South love him. And despite the fact that they were offered money, yes, some of them probably took it, but they voted Alan Chastain back in by even a bigger margin. Okay? Yeah. And that is the reality of it. Now, I will go to this Labour Party.
Mm-hmm.
So, Garfield, what we saw here, the Labour Party, in all fairness to them, I could be objective.
Yep.
They delivered some social programs.
Yes.
They did deliver some social programs.
Mm-hmm.
They started a minimum wage, so they added a few dollars to people's salaries.
Mm-hmm.
They gave government pensioners one-time payment of $600 a year. Okay, so that's $50 a month.
Yeah.
Okay? I may not think it's much, but maybe for a pensioner, getting a little extra $50 a month, maybe it's a big deal. Okay?
Yeah.
They gave a few little dollars here, a few little dollars there. So they delivered some social programs. So again, it may not be a big deal to me, but maybe it has an impact to the people they've given it to. I'm not going to take that away from the Labour Party. They delivered some social programs. But I will say, social programs without broader economic development can never be sustainable. And then that's what the Labour Party failed to do. You have to balance both. You have to do both. You have to deliver social programs and deliver as well broader economic development, which is what John Compton did, which is what Alan Chastain was doing until he was hindered by the 2 years of COVID he had to battle. You have to do that because social programs alone cannot take your country forward. So what this Labour Party government did, when they realized where the election was going, when they realized the turnout UWP got at many of their rallies, when UWP's crowd was matching Labour Party's crowd, and you know UWPs are traditionally not a set of people that go out to rallies and stuff. UWPs, they're still conservative. When you are telling me our rallies were bigger, equal to their size or even bigger, when I saw the crowd in Soufrière on a Thursday night, when Labour Party saw that, you know what Labour Party did? The weekend before the election, when traditionally both parties have their big rallies, you get your people riled up to go and vote. You know what the Labour Party did? They stayed in the constituency, buying votes on the ground. Do you hear me? They stayed in the last weekend before the election. Did Labour Party have any big rally? No.
Nope.
They stayed in the constituency, buying votes. And that is what happened. That is what UWP was up against. Okay? This has nothing to do with the leadership of Alan Chastain. This has nothing to do with our candidates. There was massive vote buying.
There was.
Okay? There was also manipulation.
Yeah.
there's also manipulation on the electronic system at electoral. And unless and until these two things cannot resolve, Labour Party will always cheat and win the election.
We do need electoral reform.
This is not a free and fair election. I'm sorry?
We do need electoral reform in the country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In September, Michael Flood, who's our commissioner on electoral, wrote a letter to electoral asking for an urgent forensic technical audit, a technical audit of the computer systems of electoral. No response to that letter. Electoral never responded to that letter. They had an election without doing that. Let me tell you something. From the back end, okay, of the computer systems, there are a lot of things that do not add up, do not make sense. Okay? Garfield, people move into Grosley. You could see people into Grosley, people are building houses, they're building apartments and stuff. There are places that people do not move into. Unless you're from there, you're not moving into there.
Right.
When there are constituencies that you see the numbers of the voters list increasing, it does not make sense. Okay? Where are those people living? Where are those people living? Where's the construction to justify the increase in voters on the voters list?
That's right.
There are many things there are many technical things that do not add up on the electronic systems of electoral. And that is why I have keep calling for a forensic audit of the computer systems of electoral. Let us examine from 2021 to see what has happened. Let us examine the movement of voters, how voters have been shifted. Let us examine all these things. That is beyond my sphere of expertise. I don't believe there's anybody in St. Lucia who has the sphere of expertise. You need a technical forensic auditor to examine the computer systems. I cannot talk about that, okay? I can talk to you about economic development, I can talk to you about tourism. I can't talk to you about that. But I'm telling you, there's something that make no sense. There are some things that make no sense.
But many of the folks are saying, right? Because I saw, I did have an encounter with the director, Mrs. St. Helen of the electoral department after the recounting in Denry South. I did ask him, that was one of my questions when I found out who the gentleman was. My question to him was, are you concerned about the type of monies that are being dumped in the elections this year? And I did indicate to him that I have had evidence of voter buy-in right here in Denry South. And he said to me, well, my concern is once it's not within the 100 yards, then he don't really have a problem. Once it's not within his 100 yards that they're doing what they're doing. And that's why, again, I say, look, we need electoral reform in the country. And any political party that have the guts to do it. As a matter of fact, the political party that would have had the guts to do it would be the Alan Shastney administration, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But let me tell you this. So it's a shame. I'm not going to knock Women's in Helen personally, but I will tell you this. If in fact he made that statement, that is a shame because vote buying, what the Labour Party has done is illegal. It is highly illegal and against the Electoral Act. So
whether within the 100 yards.
Exactly. Whether within the 100 yards or outside the 100 yards is illegal. Okay? So for him to be so nonchalant about that is highly, I don't even know the right word. But I will also talk about the fact that those of us who listen to Newsspin and other talk shows, for the last 2 years, longer than that, but mostly in the last 2 years, we've heard cases. People have called in to say, I have been moved about with no reason. I have never lived in X constituency, but I have been moved. We've heard all of those stories. We've heard it. Okay? St. Helen and Electoral never made themselves available to answer the calls of people, never made themselves available to say, okay, this is what is happening. Listen, our electoral process, the credibility and integrity of our electoral department should be impeccable. The integrity, the reputation, and the integrity, credibility, and reputation of our electoral process and department is supposed to be impeccable. And any time there has any public doubt about any of those three things, the electoral is supposed to make themselves available to answer, to respond to the questions and the scrutiny of solutions. The foundation of any democracy is a free and fair election. If you do not have free and fair elections in a democracy, your democracy is in question. Right now, the integrity of this election is in question. Right now, the legitimacy.
Sorry, hold your thoughts. Not to interrupt you, but you're absolutely right. It's in question because even in Denry South, when one of our guys saw firsthand, I believe one of his own families showed him the checks that were given to them by the Labour Party folks, he was heading to the police station. Once he got there and he saw who was at the front desk, he quickly turned around because he knew that that person was not going to do anything because they're party hack. And, I mean, this is concerning what you're saying, Aniva.
I'm going to come to that point you make. I'm going to come to that point. I'll just stick up in, but let me just go back to what I was saying. Anytime the integrity and the credibility and the reputation of your electoral process is in question, that is the very foundation of a democratic society, and that is where we are today. The very legitimacy of the outcome of this 2025 elections is in question. There are many of us, myself included, that do not believe this election was free and fair, that have questions about the legitimacy of this outcome, and that will not change. It is the duty and the function and the responsibility of the electoral department to have made themselves available for question, okay, and to resolve any issues, to answer any questions about the movement of voters. It never made themselves available to the public scrutiny on the movement of voters and so on. So today we are ending up where we are. A letter written by UWP's rep on the commission from September of this year was ignored. No response. How could that be? How could that be? Okay? If this government has nothing to hide, and they want to allay the fears of St. Lucians, and they want to show that this election was legitimate, I am calling on them to have an independent forensic technical audit of electoral computer systems and the entire process. Okay? And once they can do that and show this was free and fair, then they are legitimate. Apart from that, myself and many others will continue to believe this election was not free and not fair. Not only was it bought, but on the technical aspect of it, this election was rigged. I truly believe that, and there are many others who believe. The numbers of this election do not make sense. The numbers on the voters list, the additions and so on, do not make sense. It does not make sense. Again, that is beyond my sphere of expertise. Ask me about tourism, ask me about economic development, I can answer you. I don't understand the full thing. That is why the experts need to come in independently and do a report and make it available to the St. Lucian public. Okay? Going back to what you talked about the buying and the police. Garfield, the very institutions of our democracy is in jeopardy under this Labour Party government. Hear me again. The very institutions of our democracy, including our police force, is under threat under this Labour Party government. And I can tell solutions, brace calls out. My partner not good? My partner, if that's wrong, tell me. Brace yourselves, solutions, because it's only going to get worse. All the guardrails, our media, our police force, our everything is under threat. So when somebody goes and reports to the police that XYZ happened, do you think the police is going to act? No, they're not going to act because the police force, I don't want to paint all police bad because that's not the truth. No. It's a group of rogue police officers. We have seen how the Labour Party has infiltrated our courts. Let me come to that in a broader sense. Because again, I want solutions to understand what is happening to our democracy. In a democracy, you have certain guardrails. You have certain checks and balances in a democracy. Your media is one. I feel you understand? Your media, having a free and fair media is one of the guardrails in a democracy. Having an untainted police that is independent of political interference is one of the guardrails of a democracy. Do you agree with me or not?
Yes, totally.
Okay. Having a a vibrant, independent civil society is one of the guardrails of a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
Having the separation of powers, so your courts are free of political interference, are one of the fundamentals of a democracy. Having public who speak out and who feel free to speak out without a chilling effect is one of the guardrails of a democracy. The Labour Party, the St. Lucia Labour Party, what they do is to stifle and to control in fact, they control all of those guardrails of a democracy. They stifle dissent, and it's all communist tactics. And I want citizens to understand, here's how they do it. Mm-hmm. The media, you have seen how the Labour Party has controlled the media.
Yep.
The Labour Party, okay? So all the media, what they do is to ensure that any other media that talk their talking points, they give them work, they give them government business. Mm-hmm. So they fund them. That's why you have Jason Flay from Choice, who's the news editor at Choice, come out and talk that nonsense about Rick Wayne.
Is that guy normal?
The guy is, Jason Flay is a dope addict. Jason Flay has been fired from the Star 5 times. He's a drug addict.
Okay, so
come and talk about how they destroyed Rick Wayne and they going after Tim. How could you destroy Rick Wayne? How could you destroy Rick Wayne? Rick Wayne, his legacy, his words will live on long after he's gone.
Yeah.
Anything that happens in St. Lucia, like him or hate him, okay? People ask to hear the voice of Rick Wayne on topics. Yeah. When something happens in St. Lucia, I want to hear Rick Wayne's opinion on this. I grew up reading The Star. I grew up watching Rick Wayne as a child on Talk. Okay? Mm-hmm. Rick Wayne is an institution that will live on long after he is gone. Nobody in St. Lucia has the ability to make or break Rick Wayne. Rick Wayne transcends St. Lucian society. Rick Wayne is bigger than St. Lucian society. Rick Wayne has made it outside of St. Lucia, what most of these people cannot do in St. Lucia. Most of those that are talking the loudest in St. Lucia can never make it outside of St. Lucia. Rick Wayne has made the highest reaches outside of St. Lucia, okay?
But what did Rick do to this guy, this C-Flex guy, whatever his name is? What did Rick say?
This guy is a dope addict. Jason Flay is a dope addict, sticking for supper. He used to put a Star. Rick Wayne fired him 5 times, okay?
Oh, that's
I will tell you too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will tell you too. Timothy Polio, Newspin, is an institution that transcends the politics of the day. And the Labour Party, they have tried to break him, and they will not break him. I listened to Newspin years. Again, I was still a teenager listening to Newspin. Newspin is a staple for all televisions, whether you like him or not. They have done everything in their power. They try to have competing shows with him. Timothy Polio and Newspin is an institution. They try to get rid of him from RCI, which is Labour-owned, NBC, which is Labour-owned, and he still stands. And Tim will remain a voice and a voice of conscience in the media, one of the lone voices of conscience in the media. And I stand with Tim and I stand with Rick Wayne. Okay? So you have the media.
And by the way, we got to stand with Tim, as all of us, our audience, our viewers, got to stand with Tim. He's being on attack by this what we have now as the new government. We got to stand with him. People like Rick can both Tim and Rick can stand for themselves, of course, but we got to stand with them to show that, look, we are the opposition. We are the opposition. We will protect free speech. We will protect the free press because it is necessary to maintain democracy in the nation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's very important for people to understand. Mm-hmm. But forget about political parties, but as St. citizens, we have to protect our guardrails of our society, our democracy. Whether you support our party or not, our fundamental role is a St. Lucian first. Mm-hmm. The Labour Party also infiltrates all civil society organizations to the National Trust. Yeah. You notice for the last 4.5 years, the National Trust has been quiet. Not a word from the National Trust.
That is surprising.
Garfield, I'm trying to make... I really want people to understand. So I've mentioned the media, which is one of the guardrails of a democracy. Your civil society organizations is another guardrail of a democracy. Mm-hmm. The National Trust, your trade unions, okay, are civil society organizations. They are the consciences of the society. They are the ones you expect to speak out when there's something going on in the society, and you expect them to have an objective neutral position. But when the Labour Party does, and again, I want people to understand, I come from the Labour Party, and I'm telling you their playbook. When the people on the executive of the St. Lucia National Trust are the very same people on the SLP executive, or the very key operators of the SLP, when you cannot differentiate between the National Trust and the SLP, that is how the Labour Party does it. So they plant their people on the civil society organizations to shut them up. So when Labour Party is in power, they say nothing. They turn a blind eye to everything. But when UWP is in power, they are loud. Yeah. They are loud. They've made Alan Shastney's life miserable when he's in power. Yeah. But meanwhile, so many egregious things that happened under the Labour Party, and the National Trust said nothing. And that is what happens. They control every single trade union because they make sure the trade unions do their bidding. They know the trade unions are a very powerful voice in the society. Okay? They can call protest actions and so on. They make sure they plant their people as presidents of the various trade unions and so on to make sure that they silence dissent. Another institution is basically your police.
Oh boy.
What have they done? What have they done in the police? They have been hoping to put Ronald Phillip, who is Philippia's boy, as police commissioner. But he has been so tainted. Now, it's because of voices like mine who have been loud in condemnation that you cannot put a rapist as our police commissioner. They have not done it yet. But trust and believe that is what they are going to do. Mark my words. Ronald Phillip will be St. Lucia's police commissioner very soon. Now that they have won the election, they are going to put this rogue police officer who has been accused by multiple women of sexual assault, including one rape. They have managed to get those charges dropped, again, by intimidation. I want St. Lucian to understand where our country is heading. We are heading down the road of a Nigeria and of a Haiti. I want St. Lucian to understand what is at risk. The money you all took on December 1st, this is where our country is. Okay? Garfield, you in the US, I'm in Canada. Okay? I'm a Canadian citizen, you are American citizen. When I come to St. Lucia, I come in under my Canadian passport. If anything happens to me, the government of Canada will stand behind me. If anything happens to you, the US government will stand behind you. Okay? But I give a damn. I am concerned, though, from the people who live in St. Lucia by what is happening. But I cannot be more concerned about you than you are concerned about yourself. I cannot be more concerned about you than you are concerned about yourself. Right. You all need to open your eyes and understand what is happening in our society. You now have the police. So your point, I promise to come back to your point, when you said that this person went to the police and they will do nothing. And that's exactly what it is. The police will do nothing. You see how they targeted Tommy? Meanwhile, there are videos of Chandra buying votes. Meanwhile, there was video in the last election of the lawyer, Ernest Hill's best friend, his vehicle, guys in red shirt buying votes. Nothing for that. But you will target Tommy after the polls are closed with money. Not even him. One of his campaign people had to pay agents, to pay vehicles and so on. You will target him to try to tarnish him. Okay? Again, every institution of our democracy, the Labour Party will try to control. One of the estates is bloggers, social media people. They have bought most of them. Yeah. Those in New York, they have paid their rent for them. Okay? I'm not going to call their names because these people are not even worth me calling their names. But you know who I speak about. They have paid their rent for them. Those screaming down in things and saying they're going to put a rope in their neck and hang themselves because they asked a minister for a $15,000 contract and they eventually got it. You see, they're back insulting people on social media.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
These are our funds. These are public funds this government is using to pay those social media so-called influencers, okay, to attack people who challenge the government. I want people to hear me again. These are our funds, public funds, the government, this Labour Party government is taking to pay those people who sit in New York, okay, who sit in New York or sit in Castries, the lowest dregs of our society and pay them to attack and malign people in the worst way, people who are attempting to hold the government accountable. All of this is called the chilling effect. When you see Venus Cherry, okay, will write a post on social media telling permanent secretaries they have to do the bidding of the ministers. Permanent secretaries are supposed to be independent of political interference. Permanent secretaries are supposed to ensure that the guardrails of ministry, the accountings, all of these things are followed, the procedures. Permanent secretaries are not supposed to do the bidding of ministers, okay, if it goes against the rules. And he's saying these permanent secretaries should be fired if they don't do the bidding of ministers.
Oh, you said that?
All of this is what is called... Sorry?
You said that?
Yes, you had a post saying that.
Oh, boy.
You had a post saying that.
Well,
but all of these things are... It's called the chilling effect.
Mm-hmm.
It is called intimidation.
Intimidation.
So they believe that because they have a 16-1 majority, that none of us are supposed to talk. Well, I will tell St. Lucians and I will tell the Labour Party and the operatives, I'm Minerva Ward. I'm a St. Lucian citizen. I was born a Victoria officer. I was raised in St. Lucia, grew up in St. Lucia. I will be a St. Lucian citizen before I'm anything else. And none of them, not a 16-1 majority, not any of the operatives, not their bullying, not their harassment will ever stop me from talking. And I will tell them furthermore, I will be in St. Lucia in a few days and none of them can do anything to me. None of them. They will see me and they will pass me straight. They will cross the road when they see me because that's what they do.
Well,
all the big mouths they have, they cross the road when they see me.
I know. I had like three. Yeah. I have 3 guys who tried to attack me. 2 police officers.
When they see me.
And some other guy tried to attack me. A guy who is married in St. Lucia to another guy from Denry. He attacked me. I was just walking and the guy just started attacking me like that, you know.
When they see me in St. Lucia, they cross the road. If they see me in a supermarket, they go for another aisle. And I will let them know I will be in St. Lucia in a few days. I'm not afraid of any of them. I will continue to challenge the government, any government, including the one I support, and they will do nothing about it. And they can do nothing about it. Richard Frederick tried to take me to court for defamation. What happened to him? He had to pay me costs. If they think they will interfere with me, they have another thing coming. And I will ask UWP supporters, I will tell UWP supporters, let me tell you something. Do not lose your fire. Do not let the flammable go out. Okay? Your fundamental duty as a St. Lucian citizen is to hold this government feet to the fire. Do not be intimidated by this government. We have a duty as St. Lucians. Do not be intimidated by this government. Okay? This government did not win this election fair and square. They did not. But beyond that, even if they did, you have a duty. Because let me tell you something. They boasting about 16-1 and they think that they're untouchable and they're infallible. Let me tell you what's going to happen, Garfield. Let me tell St. Lucians what's going to happen. Despite all the fake ceremonies they held within the caretaker period and the caretaker period, the period between calling the election and the actual election, where you're not supposed to have any of those things. They had a bunch of ceremonies, fake opening of St. Jude, fake this, fake that, all of that. Let me tell you what's going to happen. St. Jude's still not going to be commissioned. Okay? It's still going to take a while for St. Jude's to be commissioned. Yeah. So all the big ceremony they had, St. Jude's will still not be commissioned for a while. People will still be at the stadium. Okay? That's what's going to happen. Our CIP revenues have been dropping. So all the money they've been spending and passing around, that's going to go down. Yeah. The reality is that during this last year, 2025, our CIP revenues have been dropping. So the money that they're doing all this vote buying with, is not going to, all the money they've been spending to buy votes, that money going to come to an end. Yeah, people may have a little money in their pocket now. December 1st was Christmas Day in St. Lucia. The Labour Party bought St. Lucia. They bought the election. Okay?
Monies were flowing.
Christmas Day was December 1st in St. Lucia. Yep. The Labour Party bought the election. Okay? People have a few $1,000s in their pocket. They're going to go and buy rum. They're going to go and buy ham. They're going to buy turkey. If you buy those things, please invite me. I'll be in St. Lucia. Okay? Yep. Invite me. Let me come and drink my CIP money. Sorry, I didn't get. Invite me. Let me come and drink my CIP money. That money will come to an end very soon. It will come to an end. Okay? Our hospitals are still not going to have medicine. just like before. Nothing's going to be changed. You all still won't have medical care. Nothing has changed. You all are still going to be having to bring rattle sheets around the place and beg for money outside of Massey and outside of JQ Charles. You all are still going to have GoFundMe. You all are still going to have Country and Western Dance when you're fall sick. That is the reality. Because you know why? St. Lucians, instead of voting for their medical care, they voted for a few dollars in their pocket before election. That is the reality. Just like the children of Israel. Okay? Yep. Just like the children of Israel that could have reached a promised land in 11 days and it took them 40 years because of their disobedience, their idolatry, their rebellion. That is what is happening to St. Lucians. Y'all forgo your medical care for a little money in your pocket before election to buy some rum and some ham and some turkey for Christmas. That is what your priorities are. Yep. And if God forbid you'll get cancer, St. Lucians have a high rate of diabetes and hypertension. I look at St. Lucians, they don't exercise, they eat float and aqua for breakfast, flour for lunch, big lunch, go with, like, the eating is bad, the lifestyle is bad, the rum drinking is bad, they look unhealthy. I'm not trying to be condescending, but there is a lifestyle. There are a lot of medical issues in St. Lucia. Yeah. And instead of voting for your medical care, you vote just to put the money in your pocket.
Just, money.
I mean, that is what is, so after the hype and after the celebration and after Christmas done, reality is going to set in. Reality is going to set in. You're left proper development, medical care, okay? Proper hospitals, a world-class airport, cruise ship port in the south. You're left all of that for some short-term money in your pocket?
Yep. That will finish
Tell
by Christmas.
Tell me how. Yeah, it was Christmas. How long does Christmas last? A lot of us do a lot of spending for Christmas, and come January. We're catching our royal.
Well,
and that is what is going to happen.
Yep.
That is the reality St. Lucians are facing. Yep. But I'm going to just wrap this up and let other people talk. I want UWPs. I want you to take away three things from me. Number one, stay strong. We ran a good, a clean, and a decent campaign. Our people showed up and showed out. Our people showed up.
That's
okay?
Right.
This was not 2021 where people didn't know when they came from the polls. No, Labour Party bought this election. This election was not free and fair. It was bought, it was paid for, it was manipulated as electoral. That's number one. Number two, I want our UWP supporters to stay with their party. Okay? Stay with their party. The UWP is this year will be 61 years old. Okay? UWP ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. We will rebuild. Okay? We will, all our machinery of our party is there. It is there. And our people are committed. Those who are committed are committed. Number three, whether Alan Chasney or whoever political leader emerge, we need to stand behind our leader firmly, because once they are a political leader of the Labour Party sees they have a target on their backs. They have a target on their backs, and UWP stop repeating the Labour Party nonsense and protect our political leaders. Protect them. Protect them, defend them, and strong. Pray for them. Speak up. Speak out. Guard them. Guard them. Guard them. That's what they need to do. Before I leave, couple of things I've heard. January North. When you tell me some guys who were with Brad throughout the campaign, they were with Brad. Okay, Brad, Big Boss Brad. The night before the election, you will come and be saying that Sean, 50 guys, offers to pay 50,000, 1,000 each, to pay them to vote for him. And they're asking the UWP to pay that money, to match it. Something people cannot be transactional. So for $1,000, for your loyalty, your everything is worth $1,000. When you tell me, Shuazell, okay, Bradley people who have been in his campaign, people he has paid to do certain things, put up posters, run certain errands. Okay? The Labour Party came in and bought them for more than the work Bradley was paying them to do.
Wow.
And you voted against Bradley. That is what has happened in our election. That is what has happened. When you tell me Champagne, and I'll come to Champagne.
Yes,
let me
please.
do Champagne before I interject.
Yeah, please. I want to hear your thoughts.
Champagne and those guys. Champagne, I will say to you, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Champagne. Okay? You stood on your radio station and you lambasted King, rightfully. You rightfully lambasted Stevenson King for what he did on the eve of last election.
Yep.
And today, because you were not accepted as the party's candidate for Cashews East, okay? Now, I've agreed with you. I too felt that probably communication should have been better. I agree with you on that.
We all agree on that. Yeah.
We all agree on that.
Yep.
There were certain things that could have been done better. I go lie. But to tell me that you continue to lie to the people, smile to people's faces, and lie to people's Champagne. Champagne, you are no different from a Judas. You are no different. You told people that, on nomination day, you were just reporting from all the different things. UPPS reporter.
That's right.
You're not a reporter, okay?
Yep.
You are in Skyrim studio. You end up in Philippines thing,
Yep.
okay? You end up in Philippines because you are getting paid. These guys are paying him incrementally.
Yeah.
For every time he shows up, he's getting paid. He's getting paid. Champagne has said to people, he's 60 years old, boy. How long do you think I can be doing that, carrying luggage? How long do you think I can be doing that? So he's gotten paid by the Labour Party. But it tells me, when your conscience, when you as a person, when your integrity, when there's a price on you, it says everything about your character. It says everything about your character. And not just Champagne, all of those who accepted Labour Party's money to vote for what they know is wrong. The fact that our CIP funds still have not been accounted for in Parliament as is required by law. Yeah. Audited statements still have not been. Over $1 billion of our money is still unaccounted for. The government is required to table audited statements in Parliament. This still has not been done. Yeah. GPH, our port was sold for crumbs. Okay? For crumbs. Okay? There have been so many egregious things. Our state of healthcare, SLMDA told us as the worst state of healthcare in the country. The worst. The record high murders. We just got to December and we are over 80 murders for the first time ever in our issue under this government. There are so many things that happen and you're going to accept a few dollars? You're just like Judas. 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces of silver. That silver will run out. Can you look yourself in the mirror? Can you look yourself in the mirror? Yeah, you probably gloated now. Labour Party won. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I F up UWP. Can you look yourself in the mirror? Can your children look at you? Can your children look at you and say they're proud of you? Champagne, I am asking you that question. The others who did it, I am asking you that question. Can your children look at you with a measure of pride? That's what I'm asking tonight. I want to tell UWP, we are a party of 61 years old this year. Last year we celebrated our big 60th anniversary. We are a party that has been there and that will be there. Okay? We have Alan Chastney, a leader we can be proud of, and I am damn proud of him and I love him. We have a party, whether he stays or whether he goes, they are good candidates. We had a slate of good, solid candidates, and I'm sure the best one will emerge when Alan Chastney decides to leave or move on. The best one will emerge, and we need to support our party and support our political leader, and we need to hold this government accountable as is our right and a responsibility as St. Lucians to do. Garfield, thank you so much for letting me talk to St. Lucians tonight. Yes. Thank you. I will listen as other people make their contributions.
Yeah, it is a pleasure. Sure. Thank you so much. Yes.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night. That was our friend there, Meneva Ward. And, she did make a lot of sense, of course. We have some other calls that was coming in, so we'll take them before we close the show. I don't want to keep you on too long, but we're going to be back on Tuesday, same time with our program. We continue with Caribbean American News the news that you report. And so what I'm saying, St. Lucians, is that Mr. Shastner is still a UWP. He's still going to be in the House representing his constituents, that is Mico South. And so you should not let your heart be troubled. The United Works Party has a machine that will start rolling following the process. The Constitution, of course. Caribbean American News, calling you on the air. What's on your mind?
Hello, good night, Mr. Garfield.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Okay, good. I have two questions to make.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there, Mr. Garfield?
Yes, you're listening to your device. You might want to mute it a bit, but
Right.
we're hearing you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Up to now, with the victory of the Labour Party,
Mhm.
up to now, they haven't come out and tell us the inquiry of how Tyson death.
Well, I spoke
Right.
caller to the dog handler, who is a friend of mine. I
Right.
went to school with him in Dennery. And he was saying certain things that the dog was not poisoned and stuff like that. But we have never gotten the report.
Okay. It never revealed from the report. Now, my second question is that we need an inquiry of how our CIP money
CIP.
was spent. How come we have so many Chinese involving in our election, voting in our election,
You saw Chinese voting, caller?
but they got all the CIP passports
Well, it doesn't mean that
and
they
they came down
voted.
there and voted into St. Lucia? Yes, they did.
So you mean
Yes, they
there was a
did.
lot of ching chongs and wangs on our voters
That
list?
is something we have to be careful with St. Lucia, because America is on the horizon of the Caribbean. So I will want the Prime Minister to have Ernest Leahy to come out and have St. Lucians to know where is the passport, CIP passport money.
Well, we need an
Bill,
overall report.
where is
We have
it?
not received the final reports from CIP. That's a fact. Caller?
Yes, because they said they're gonna preserve the election. That is where they preserve the election, with our CIP passport money. Remember, St. Lucia is still on the radar of the CIP passport, St. Lucia, St. Kitts. We have to be careful because we're playing with fire.
Well, let's see how that goes. Let's see if we're going to get the report, and interesting times ahead, of course. Caller?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, I think you're listening to your device. That's why there's the delay.
Yes,
But-
because look, where we supposed to invest our CIP passport money, yes, where we supposed to invest our CIP money in roads, in medical, in health, that is where our CIP money is supposed to be.
Well, for
In
me, caller, I don't think
education
that.
also too.
For me, I don't think the patrimony of the people should be sold like that, the passport. But other people are of a different opinion, of course.
Because remember, 2023, we had a shortage of sugar. We had a shortage of rice. We had a shortage of flour. Inflation was high. Where is the CIP passport money to decrease inflation? Gas price was high rise. Where was the CIP passport money to? Where was the CIP passport money to deal with inflation in St. Lucia? Where is it? What they did? They hold it back. They kept it back to preserve the victory. That is what they did, and have people and have St. Lucians suffering with health care,
But Call, I don't
with
have.
grocery prices.
Yeah, but I don't have evidence, and I don't know of any Chinese voting in St. Lucia. And if Chinese vote in St. Lucia, it means that they're citizens of the country and they're entitled to vote.
I understand your point,
Yeah.
but I understand your point, where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, right?
Yeah.
But how can so many Chinese registered to vote? It comes up from our CIP passport.
Well, let me just say the CIP
Now
passport
that is gonna be a red flag. That is gonna create a red flag for St. Lucia.
well, the CIP is
Because
it's a legal business, legit business, the selling of citizenship to foreigners, and there are certain privileges that comes with that with the citizenship, and their rules to the whole CIP citizenship by investment program. You become you secure one of our passports through citizenship by investment or nationality, and you I think the program allows you. I think you should exist or live in the country for a period of time before you are entitled to vote. But there are privileges that comes with citizenship, and that's why it must be guarded. It must be guarded. It must be protected, and we got to follow the law. Are you on the air? All right. So we're going to take another call.
I'm there. I'm there.
We have another call coming in, but thank you so much, my friend, for...
Okay.
Let me ask you, did you vote in this elections?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, brother. All right. So we have another call. Other call coming in. Caller, you can call back. The number is 929-586-1821. But folks, I don't know honestly of passports of Chinese voting in the country. What I saw was Denry North, Denry South, and some other constituencies, and I saw only St. Lucians on those lines. I saw only locals on those lines, and I've spent a long time at the poll, so I honestly don't know that for the fact. All right, but the caller said Chinese voted, so it means that he saw them. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right, but okay, go ahead. Okay, let's take it. Caribbean American News. Caller, you on the air? Yes, sir.
Yes, good night, brother. Good night.
Hey, good to hear your voice, man.
Yes, brother.
I thought you would check for me on the island.
Beg your pardon?
I thought you would check for me on the island, man.
You know, I was there with brother Ian. He was the first in Central Castries in time of our mobilization and stuff.
Oh, good.
But I just want to lay out this to the United Workers' Party and the St. Lucians who are listening from home and abroad.
Yeah.
We never lost the election, brother Garfield. We know what happened. I'm not going to go down in the details of it right now.
We didn't lose
but what I call to tell you, brother Garfield, is I believe our community center, our constituency offices, because I believe all the ministers won the election. But the most important thing is we should not allow our communities, constituency offices to close. Because every time we do this, there are many people that came out and put their face out there. They come and put their strength out there. Some of them left their jobs to come and support because we knew whatever it cost. When we close down those offices and everybody run because they lost or anything like that, it leaving many people, many of our soldiers on the battlefield left with nowhere to turn.
But you're aware it's very expensive to keep those offices open.
I know, but that is where I'm coming to. That is why we have seen what the St. Lucia Labour Party have done. As you can see, all the Labour Party governments came down to support Philip JP on that new win. As you can see, in particular, Mayor Motley, the Labour god. They're talking about Trinidad interfering in our elections and Jamaica, but they were busy doing it. because I don't want to get down to too much details in that.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell you, there are many conservative sister parties like in Trinidad with Kamala and Friday. We have the UK. We have the Republicans in America, the Democrats. What I'm trying to tell you, my brother, it's time for us to think outside of the box. There are NGOs, there are philanthropists that are willing to help our cause. We cannot allow every 5 years we disappear from all the communities.
No, we can't disappear.
And then every time election come around, we want to come and play like we're helping in such a way.
Yeah.
People not falling for that. That's the difference between the Labour Party. The Labour Party always have a presence in the communities.
Yeah.
They always have a little way to make a man eat $1. That's how the Mali way thinking.
Yeah.
You understand?
I totally agree.
Because you see, the situation is right now, as all office closed down there, and genuine people, I was working with the thing, and you know, some of them left their jobs because of that and that. Victimization rampant. Okay, we're not getting no support from our party on the ground. You're forcing people to go under the Labour Party because they're in government. But you know, if we had our little office open, we have foundations, community foundations that align with our ideals, which is the conservative ideals. So I know it is illegal to fund for political parties to fund political parties, but there are mechanisms where we can create our foundation in line with the conservative ideals that our sister parties and sister donors, whoever, want to help us run those programs. For example, little home relief, pampers for the elderly, school things, different little ways we can, prescribe for medication and those different things for people. You understand? So that is where we have all 5 years in opposition. We always have a presence on the ground. So people don't say, oh boy, every 5 years alone you're coming around with them different things. No, but we built 5 houses there. We renovated 10 houses last year. Even the government, we know you, the government has resources and them different things.
Call, I do
But
agree that we need to maintain a presence in each of these communities. We can't just, during an election cycle, you pop up and then you just disappear on the people, and the only people they're seeing is the SLPs and not the UWPs. So you're absolutely right. We need to have a constant presence in...
and you know, Brother Gaffney, it's not me that's saying that, you know.
Yeah.
That is just the mood on the ground, because
I know
we are in the battlefield. And now everybody seem to run and everybody want to blame everybody. But at the end of the day, we know we never lost the election. So let us not blame each other and blame that, but let us start helping our people, because
we're not the winners. We didn't win the election. Yeah, but we didn't win the election. We lost the elections. But I was in Castries. Some of you didn't see me. I went into the constituency, of course, privately.
Yeah.
And I did hear the same thing. You know, people's like, where were you guys? You know, we haven't heard from you. You guys just come and disappear. So that is a genuine concern. Thank you so much, my caller.
All right, brother. Okay.
Okay, brother. All right. So let's take one more call and then we will conclude the show. But I'm just here to say, my friends, that we need to stay focused. We are not the winners in these elections. We lost to the St. Lucia Labour Party. They're the ones who have formed the government in the country. And therefore, we got to do all that we do, all that we do to keep ourselves active. The United Workers' Party, it is not a weak party. The United Workers' Party did as an opposition party, they did perform, they did what they had to do. They returned the same stuff that the Labour Party threw at us. They throw back equal, and the Labour Party turned wrong, and then they say, oh, you flabbos are bitter, you flabbos are angry, you flabbos are negative, you guys attacking us, and it's just funny, the conversations that I was hearing from Labour Party supporters. It was so funny that I think I started laughing at some when they say, you guys are negative, you guys say so much bad things about our country, as if it is their country, of course, and there is nothing going on. All the discussions about crime, CIP, the hospital issues, the police issues, the road issues, the gas issues, the food issues, all those issues don't exist for the supporters of the Labour Party, They would tell you, are we good? Our country is good. You're all talking negative and bringing down our country. So it's very sad that You cannot, as an opposition, highlight the defects, the shortcomings in the country because they label you as an enemy of the state, and it's just ridiculous. But when they are in opposition, of course, they will go to the Bajan embassy, the U.S. embassy in Barbados, just to take down another St. Lucians. That's how bad it is, and they will burn an entire city. Yes, they will. They will win an election and still burn an entire city. So, St. Lucia's, all I can say, you're resilient. You have overcome. You have gone through enough already. And you have survived the worst hurricanes, the worst politicians, the worst crisis. You guys are resilient. Yes, you guys came out of COVID as champions, even though you buried your loved ones. You still came out as champions. You managed COVID well. And again, the credit goes to the United Workers' Party government under the Alan Chastney leadership. But you guys are champions. So don't let nobody tell you because you lose an election, you are losers, you're not St. Lucians, you don't love St. Lucians enough. That is ignorance. That is total garbage. It is total foolishness. And I see my friend Shane, the real Fred, saying the mood is red. Your mood can be red, but my mood is not red. My mood is blessed. My code is still yellow. Even though it did not load in the last elections, the people choose to go with the Labour Party. But Shane, my friend, my buddy, to say that, just throw out that the mood is red, it's not red over here on this platform. And that's a fact. We don't support red. We don't support the policies of all of the policies of the Labour Party. I do support some, but not all. So our mood will never be red. That's your mood. So don't force us to accept your mood. No, we have decided that we don't want no red mood. We want code yellow. And even though we were defeated in the polls, we were shellacked, beaten, bloodied in the polls, that's not our mood, bro. And I mean, you got to respect that. That's not our mood. You can't force your mood down our throats. It's not right. So, and that's why I welcome all people here. But then I would want poor folks to respect us as not being red, as being yellow. And we will respect your choice of being red. Folks, if I tell you what happened to me after the elections, I decided I'm going to fix my mother's roof because I didn't realize it was so bad. So I decided to get the materials. I bought all the materials, and I tried to get guys to do it. But the guys were in their election thing and whatever it is. Folks, 7 o'clock on Thursday morning, I got up. I bought the tools. I went into Castries the Wednesday. I bought all the tools that was needed. All the tools. This electric saw, the galvanized cutter, the nails, the wood, and listen to me, I did what I had to do. I went on that woman's roof, my mother. And folks, I didn't get off that roof from 7 o'clock until 11 o'clock in the night. I'm nailing galvanized, By the time I got down from the roof, when I looked at my white shirt, the whole shirt was red, I say, you know what? I ain't labor tonight. Blood, look at my fingers. Plasters all over. Cut. So red, that red for me was dangerous on the roof. So I'm no friend of red. Red represents danger, Danger. When you see a red light, you have to stop immediately, You know that, right? When you see red, it means danger. Watch it, eh? And I saw the danger in some of your mood red. The guy came at me at Daito, man. I said nothing to him. I did nothing to him. That guy code was dangerously red. And no matter what you do, his code was red. And if you only say anything, he would have knocked you out. So I saw some dangerous red mood in that country where people was insulting. There's a gentleman in Dennery. I know him. He was Pentecostal Church of God. And then, he changed his life and he decided that he was going to go gay and, have a boyfriend and everything else. So I saw the guy at the polls walking back and forth, a poll walking and blah blah blah. So I did nothing. I'm on my business. I went to pick up a lady who was 102 years old that said she needed a ride. So I got my vehicle, went to get the woman. So as I go in to get, and the lady was so happy, the 102-year-old who she voted, and she was so happy that she cast her vote. So I have her in the vehicle, in the air conditioner, and he like a week at the, where's my daughter? She's my everything. You're not going anywhere with me yet, huh? And when like we must say, Granny, we're not leaving yet. We're waiting for your daughter. She's voting. This guy, as I go in to get the old lady, this guy started attacking me all to the blues. The guy knew me all his life in Dennery. I've never had a problem with him. Never insulted him. Because his mood is red, he decided that he's going to come and try to insult or disrespect me and everything else. And the guy was so serious, I'm telling you. And so I had to say to him, man, you're ignorant. And when he left, of course, I did say, and I confessed, I did say, but I'm not even your boyfriend, bro. If you have a problem with your boyfriend, then you can go on and quarrel and do what you say. But you don't know me like that. And I'm telling you, it's a dangerous mood. If only they would respect people's rights, respect people's choice. If only, folks, they would respect people, then we would be so optimistic about the future. But because of even at the airport, folks, when the plane landed in Miami on Friday night with me, the guy pulled out his phone and the guy said, oh, Chasney resigned. The man started cursing Chasney's mother on the plane. He started cursing Chasney's mother on the plane. And I'm like, what kind of mood is this? Your mood is so red that you have no respect, not even in a plane. And folks, this was real. And I'm like, you guys won. Why are you guys so mad? You won and you all over the place cussing people, casting remarks. Folks, when I got to St. Lucia, there's a lady from Dennery. The woman, before all this, she would be speaking to me in Brooklyn and everything else. I know your mother, Garfield, blah, blah, blah. The woman saw me at the airport and pretended she did not see me, The mood was so red, Reverend, that she was willing not to talk to me because her mood was red. That's a dangerous mood. And while the government, like my neighbor said, they did do some stuff, especially for the lower class people. And you can't run away from that, of course. But these guys are tainting their good with all the negatives. They're tainting the good that they're doing with all this mood is red, dangerous vibes. So I was saying, and this is just me, I was saying and they say, oh no, we are so wicked and we are negative. You guys have been negative. You guys were so negative that you burned my stepfather's shed in Dennery for politics. That's how red you guys, how dangerous you guys are. You guys are willing to do anything to people. I saw it. I had 2 encounters with police officers. Their mood was so red that in View Fort, the police officer, when I went there to monitor the elections with the officers, I went there with my reporter thing, and I was accompanied by another gentleman, local, and the police, I asked her if it's okay for me to go in to observe, and she said, yes, you can. I said to her, what am I not able to do behind here? And she said, well, you don't know, I can speak to the presiding officer and stuff. So I went where I greeted the officers, because many of them knew me. My brother was on the line too, who is a police officer. Many of them knew me and they were very friendly and warm. But then I saw the hostility. I knew who were the police, were the SLP hacks within the force. I knew them. So right away, I saw their attitude. I saw them whispering. I saw them monitoring me. But so I was prepared, actually, for what was coming next. So I went far away from the area where the guys are voting. I didn't want to distract or be a distraction. And I did say that. And so I went over. There were 2 Flabo agents. I went directly over to those agents that were sitting away from anyone. All of a sudden, a police hack comes across to me. What is your business here? What is your business here? Now, this guy is not even a police, by the way. I think he's a cadet, or he was fireman, or whatever it is. What is your mood here? What is not your mood? What is your business here? Trying to intimidate me like I'm a little boy. And I'm telling you my experience, right? And so I looked at him. I'm like, but why are you talking to me? What's your business here? Did you come to vote? Are you working here? Are you security? What is your business? Because as far as I'm concerned, I am part of the democracy of the country. And I'm observing the process. So you can't come to me as not even a police, an ex-fireman. And so he called another guy who is maybe an ex-inspector, calls him now, tell him, look, that's Garfield, look him over there. I heard him, look. So the guy comes now with his hands open like a bully. What is your business here, sir? Why are you here? So I asked him, what's your position and what is it to you? Why I'm here? Oh, you can't be here. Well, you can't be here. And then he started acting a fool. Then he went over to the presiding officer and tell her to get me out. I should not be here. The guy went with 4 different people to try to get me out of there. And all I'm standing there calm, I made a request to speak to the presiding officer because, 1, the line was not moving at all. Police officers were there from 8 o'clock. And 12 o'clock, they still couldn't vote. 1 o'clock, they couldn't vote. 2 o'clock, they couldn't vote. 5 o'clock, they couldn't vote. 1 o'clock, they were still voting during the night. So I went out to move my vehicle because I remember that there were some stickers and posters on the vehicle and it should not have been close to the pole. So I went to move it way beyond the 100 marks or whatever it was. Get it out of the way. You got to be respectful to the laws of the land and the authorities and everything else. And I was very clear that I do not want, 1, to break the law, 2, to cause any discomfort to anyone or to be a problem. I made that very clear. So I made a request to speak to the presiding officer, blah, blah, blah. So the presiding officer, I came back, the presiding officer comes out. Oh, we have a report that you guys, blah, blah. I say, hold. I want you to tell me, this is me communicating with the presiding officer. I want you to tell me, what am I supposed to do, what I can't do, whether I am okay where I'm standing or whether I am not okay where I'm standing, because I do not want to be a problem. I'm here to observe and to record with my pencil, to write. I said to her, I know I'm not supposed to record the people voting. That I know. And so she said, no, you're okay. You can be here and stuff and everything else. And while the hack police officer who is retired, not in uniform, he wanted to be a candidate in View Fort. He's standing over our agents. The presiding officer is here. And so as I confronted, she said, well, I've already spoken to him. So I asked her, why is he standing over our representatives here? Clearly, he should not be standing over them. And so I said to her, I said, you know what, I'm going to leave. 1, I do not want to distract the system. The process is already too slow. And that's not good. I'm going to leave. So here comes a guy in khaki with a stick, and he comes up. What are you guys doing here? Blah blah blah. I said, well, we were escorted inside, and we got permission to come in. Blah blah blah. And he said, oh, you all are standing in an unauthorized area. I said, okay, fine, unauthorized, right? Fair enough. So I said to the other guy, let's leave. So as we make the run, we saw some civilians on another exit at the station. So we decided, look, we're going to exit. So as we're about to exit, he said, oh, you guys can't exit here. Okay. I said, fine. So we will exit through the station front. So as just harassment all the way, Then the same little guy, who is not a police officer, ex-fireman, he's there carrying on and bigging up himself and all that nonsense. I'll confess, I did say one thing to him. I will confess to you, my listeners. I said to him, you are the ugliest individual that I've ever seen in my life, given all this trouble. Honestly, I confess about that after. I was sorry about it. I said, you're the ugliest thing that I've ever seen. Honestly. Nobody's troubling you and you're acting a fool. All because your code is red. Acting a total fool. The man all through View Fort met me by the road buying doubles in View Fort by the bank. He's harassing me, shouting all sorts of names at me. Same guy. All through View Fort, I had my witness. And I have it recorded. Said nothing to him but harassment. Nasty court friends. And I don't know what to expect going forward for St. Lucians. I don't know, honestly. And so I went out, the police, the inspector, whatever he was, of View Fort, the guy there at View Fort. So he came out, we having a conversation. I'm just giving you my story. Having a conversation with him, and he's like, oh, you guys came into the station unauthorized. I say, hold a minute, hold, officer. No, then he said to me, oh, can I come into your house? Can I come into your house? I'm like, wait a minute, hold, officer. What are you, inspector, sergeant? Holy horses. My house have nothing to do with you. One, you're not authorized to come in my house unless you have a warrant. And by the way, my house is not in St. Lucia. And if you come into my house in the United States, I don't know what can happen to you. But my house has absolutely nothing to do with you. So let's get back to what you were discussing. We're discussing you saying that I am unauthorized. I crossed an unauthorized line, which is going into the station. So I said to him, it means that your station, one, is not secure. Two, it means that your officers have no control over the station. Because if I can walk from the street into your station, into an unauthorized area, whole cause of pardon. Is it one of the reasons why we have missing evidence one day, the other day it's not missing? The other day the dog died, the other day the doggy died, and all them kind of stories, or the person hanged themselves in the station, found dead. Is that why? Because people are just walking in and collecting stuff and walking out? So based on what he's saying to me, it means that his station is not secured. And I said to him, go ask your people how I got into the station. That's the first thing you do. You should go to your folks and ask them, how did this gentleman get in? Did you guys authorize it? And the guys would say, yes, we escorted him here. We gave him permission to be here. But you come to me giving me all kind of hack stories. So I had to say, man, you got to be professional, one. And two, it is very clear that you're an operative of the Labour Party. And by then, the other officers were able to deal with him. But I'm just saying, friends, if these guys are bullies, they are so red that if you are not careful, friends, whole cause up bon. And that's a fact. So all I'm saying, guys, you won. Move on with leading the country. Philip JP, I'm asking you to call off your hacks. Call them off. Let them know that you won. It's okay. You won. You're the Prime Minister. You guys won. There's no reason for you to be upset and mad. The United Workers' Party lost and they're more happy. They're more happy. I never see a party lose and they're happy. Brethren, I got up in the morning after the election. I was the most happiest man. I went by plant. I had my lunch, my breakfast and everything. I enjoyed myself there. And I went on my business. I was very happy. There's a Labour Party behind me. Power shitty, calling me names. And I'm like, how do you win and you still are you still mad? How is it? But then the answer came back that red is a very dangerous mood to be in. And St. Lucians, I wish you guys all the best. But you guys will be okay. You know why you'll be okay? Because there's a God. There is a God. And you will never be alone. Utanzamadiza. So let not your heart be troubled. Let not your heart be troubled, my friends. You believe in God. Believe also in me. Christ is in my Father's house of many mansions. So don't you be discouraged. My friend Shane Wilfred tell me to go to bed. He's up and he want me to go to bed. I tell you, them code are dangerous, you know. He's up on the platform, but he wants me to go to bed. He's my daddy, so he's putting his son to bed. Pusamo do whole konupabo. Whole konupabo madu. You guys don't know how to win graciously. We know how to lose graciously. And you guys don't know how to win graciously. Very funny. But folks, I had fun with you today and I really appreciate every one of you. And I want you to stand strong with Mr. Chastney. For me, I am supporting Mr. Chastney as a political leader of the United Workers' Party. And the Labour Party will not dictate to me who should be political leader of our party. As I said, you're indiscreet, you're out of place, out of order, and your mood is totally messed up. Mr. Chastney, if Mr. Chastney wants to be the leader of the United Workers' Party, I endorse it, I support it, and will fight for it. And there is nothing anyone can do about it. If he wants to be the leader, if he says, look, Garfield, leave that alone. I don't want to be the leader. We're going to appoint somebody else. And I will support the other person. Same support I give to Mr. Chastney, I will give to the other person. And I know we have good leaders within our party. People who can lead this party. I'm not fearful about the future of the party. But I want you all to respect Mr. Chastney as an honorable man. You all must respect him. Yeah? And put respect to his name when you mention it. Yeah? If you guys want respect, you got to give that respect. And until you can give the respect, then you will continue to get what you take and to take what you get. All right? Start respecting the Honorable Chastney. Mr. Pear, you respect him. And he will respect you. And I'll tell your other people to respect the man as a St. Lucian. Tell them he's a St. Lucian. Tell them he's part of us. Tell them he's sons and daughters of St. Lucia. Tell them to call them off, man. Call them off. Tell them stop it. And I hear you complaining, sir. Oh, they're saying things about me. And look at what is happening and you stop none of them. You're not stopping them. So if you need respect, you got to give respect. Earn it. You have 4 more years to earn it. I don't know if you'll call elections in 2 years because all them fellas want to be leaders, you know. You know that, right? So hold cow pardon. One day your mood will be so red that you won't be able to function. And that's a fact. But there are a host of those who are waiting in the bush. They're waiting in the bush. Once you get a call, Philip, once you get a call and you sneeze, all them fellas will be watching and testing your pulse to save your life. That's how these guys are. Same thing they would do in John Compton. They'll be watching, and if you sneeze, they're coming out licking their chops for leadership. Whole cow pabo. Yeah? Whole cow pabo, partner. So if I were you, I would just monitor that carefully. And if that's your code, fine, you go ahead. You will figure out what code it is. Midterm. But the United Workers' Party is strong. We'll remain yellow. We have always been yellow. Our code will ever be yellow. And there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Somebody tell me, Fabo Fini. Every year, Fabo Fini. Every election's Fabo Fini. But we are strong. You cannot Fini Flambo. Nah, we stand tall. We stand strong. Folks, it was nice being here with you. But again, Mr. Shastner, I stand strongly with you and your family. And nothing is going to change that. All right? I'm in your corner. It is customary that after elections you resign. You did it twice. They did not accept it the first time. And I am saying to the leaders in the party, we're watching you guys. And if we hear, and this is a threat, take it as a threat from me. If I hear that you guys are forming the fool and you're going to be doing foolishness, I promise you that I will expose it on this platform. I will call it out. So stop your conspiracies, get to work, and consult with the people, and do what is right. If Mr. Shastner decides that he's going to move on, we bless him, we permit it. But if he got to be reappointed as the political leader of our party, we stand with him. And we expect you to, all of you, to stand with him. And by the way, some of you need to step down. This has been Caribbean American News Media Platform, and I endorse everything I just said there. And I'm asking all Flabos to stand with Mr. Shastner. Stand tall with him. Don't turn your backs. Don't abandon. Stop, repeat. Don't even repeat the talking points of the Labour Party. Do not repeat any talking points. Any talking points of Shastner got to go in order for y'all to win. No. No. That's your fake talking point. That is a dangerous red talking point. And we don't subscribe to red talking points. You don't elect our leaders for us. We elect our own leaders. Yeah, yes, we do. You wanted us to get rid of Judge Compton? Yes, that's what you wanted. Yeah, you want us to get all our leaders. You guys have stand up, Vaughan Lewis, John Compton, even what's his name, Stephenson King. All of our leaders were bad. You remember that, Labour? We remember that. So not this one. This time around, the more you say to us, get rid of our leader, and we'll win. We will stand with our leader and we'll lose. But we'll stand with him. We stand with him and lose than for you all to tell us what to do and we listen to you guys. So, phase that out. Shane, go to bed. You need to go to bed now. Go to bed, Shane. Huh? No, Rachel, you can't say you have had enough. You don't know what you have had enough, and that's the truth. And that's what I'm saying. You guys are allowing these talking points to affect you guys. And you begin to repeat it. Again, I spoke about the children of Israel and being in Egypt. And you start repeating the talking points of Egypt, the Egyptians, to the point that even though you got out of Egypt and you're heading to the promised land, you go to the promised land repeating the talking points of Egypt to the point where you say to your leaders, you guys brought us here to kill us. That's what the Israelites said, while the man trying to deliver them out of Egypt's bondage They're complaining that you brought us out here to kill us and destroy us. We were better over there being flogged. We were better over there, working hard. We are doing the very same thing. I love you, Shane. I love you, brother, with the love of God. You know that I love you, brother. You know that. And nothing is going to stop that, my friend. Nothing is going to stop that, buddy. Nothing will stop that. So, Rachel, moi la hosoya. Don't repeat that point. You don't know if he's tired or if he's not tired. Mr. Shasta is a fighter. Mr. Shasta is resilient. He can take the plucks and he can give the plucks. So when he say he's tired, then he's tired. But no UWP should say the man tired and he's had enough. Let him decide if he's had enough, not us. Folks, until then. Rachel, I dummy. Until then, good night and goodbye. This is your program, your platform. United and strong. Bye-bye. So sorry, folks. I had to come back. Quickly. Rachel said, Garfield, stop. It is he who said that he's given up. Shasta never said he's given up nothing. Rachel, again, I'm going to repeat that. Mr. Shasta never said he's given up. Mr. Shasta followed the constitution of the United Workers' Party as the political leader, and he resigned as requested, as the constitution would dictate, and therefore the party will either accept the resignation or reject it. But he did not give up. 2, he will continue to be in the House of Parliament as the parliamentary representative for Mico South. He has not given up that seat, which would require a by-election. But Mr. Shasta is the representative for Mico South, and he have indicated on social media sometime today and yesterday that he will continue to be the representative of the people of Mico South, and when he cannot continue, he will come back to them and get their advice on it. But he has not given up. He has not given up. He is following the constitution, or he's just doing what is right as a leader. All right? So I just wanted to correct that. But I really gone now, folks. Bye-bye.
Them Lucian Z. Look out for us again soon. We go show you all more. Malwat.
Why them Lucian so make them this?
Sui pui. Some 2.5% HCSL thing is a tax vibe.
So what that have to do with people getting meg? But just now, to me them people paying VAT already.
Exactly. The tax is calculated on the cost of goods. So one time, the price go increase, Kuma. the Lucians end up paying more than 15%.
Mama.
Gasa, just imagine $100 go buy less groceries. People getting poor. Things like rent and utility bills go also increase, Gasa.
Real Malawi vibe.
All them things the people doing to stay healthy, like gym, healthy eating, and safety and security, go be harder to get because people ain't have money.
Partner, if them people ain't have enough money, they ain't go have leftover food for us to eat. The bins go be empty. Wow!
Things real happening to them, Lucianzi. Look out for us again soon. We go show you all more. Mal what?
Why them Lucian so make them this?
Sui pui. Some 2.5% HCl.